Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. Shockingly, I am still Chat Show. How are you? What the hell are you doing? I'm talking to you. Don't look away. Look at me. Look at me. Hey. I'm so excited to be home. I was in New York this morning, you know, because I did a weekend show at Caroline's. I want to thank everyone that works there. I don't want to thank the people who attended the shows. You can all go fuck yourself because you stunk. No, there were 3 of you that were great. I think you know who you are. But everyone else. And then I had friends come to the show one friend who brought some other people, and I had a cousin come to the show, and it was the largest crowd and the worst audience. I mean, I don't think, well, the guy that went on before me, I don't want to point fingers, did kind of bum out the room a little bit, but it's my fault. I'll take it on the chin. That I couldn't turn them around, that I couldn't pull it up. It was just nose diving into the ocean. And same show, same brilliant performer, and any performer will tell you, at any moment we can, that's sort of the sense of the excitement of walking on the tightrope, is that you just never know. But why the night that Jason Reitman and Josh Brolin came to the show, I can't fucking explain.
You need to stop opening with that whole bit about rape and incest. It just
Why?
brings everybody down.
Why,
it brings
though?
the room down. It's not as funny as you think.
That's where we disagree.
Fair
People
enough.
don't appreciate a good rape or a miscarriage joke.
They
The
don't.
way they should.
It's an art form.
And you tash in Hitler and strokey, that I feel a little strokey.
Yeah.
And again, nothing.
Nothing.
Weird.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't you, the audience of Caroline's. It was me and my awful material and choice of topics. I did start saying that I wake up every morning with 205,000 followers on Twitter, which is more than Hitler.
That is accurate.
He did not start his day with 200,000 followers.
On Twitter.
No, in life. And then I said, I'm going to let Poland be, because I like them.
Nice.
And the audience just turned their chairs. They turned their chairs in a different direction to look at something else.
Because they don't know. They don't know history.
They don't understand.
They're not an educated group. They're at a comedy club.
Right. Never forget. That's what they meant. All right. So thanks to everyone who runs the fabulous show there at Caroline's. And also, big props and thanks to Opie and Anthony. Had an awful lot of fun time on their morning shenanigans on the Sirius. That was way cool.
They loved you.
They were very, very kind.
And according to J-Mac, if they don't like a comedian, they go to commercial and you're out.
They don't suffer fools, so I made sure I wasn't a fool. Yeah. Sammy, what did you do with your week since we saw you last?
Oh God, I did so much.
Jump in anywhere.
I installed wires in my home with a power drill.
Yeah, you told me last week that you could belong to a union. You're so good at this. So how did it go?
I tore that shit up and put it all back together. I'm like Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
In the carpenter sense.
Okay.
Actually, word on the street is he was a mediocre carpenter. Word on the street.
I'd never heard the analogy comparison to.
Well, he was a Jewish carpenter. So,
Copy.
You know,
Copy
he was
that.
always trying to lowball you. Mm-hmm. You don't write about that much in the Bible.
Wow. I think it needs a rewrite, a punch-up. And so you wired all this for
my own convenience.
A new air conditioning unit? What are we talking about? New fan?
I just wanted to be able to connect my DVRs and Slingbox.
Well, don't be ashamed. These are products that are available to America.
These are products available to America. In fact, the Slingbox people, I'm a big fan of them. If they'd like to sponsor the show, they should give one of us a call.
Well, you know,
I won't keep mentioning them until they do.
Netflix is a sponsor of the show.
Netflix?
Uh-huh.
Well, they're great. They're even better than Slingbox because you don't need the thing. If you got the computer, you already got it. How about that?
That should be the name of your second book.
If you need the thing, you already got it?
You don't need the thing. Yeah.
I will say this.
Please.
I'm very excited about this upcoming week. Because
Give me
starting
a button.
tomorrow,
Give me a button to all this.
you get a button to all this.
All right.
Beginning tomorrow, my beloved Chicago Cubs come right here to Los Angeles.
You're going to Dodger Stadium.
That's right, baby.
Chavez Ravine.
I will be there.
Built on the
I'll
back
be there
of
Monday.
dead Mexicans.
I'll be there Monday. I'll be there Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like to come meet me, come to one of those games. I'll be somewhere in Dodger Stadium.
Are you having a tweet up at Dodger Stadium?
I'm not going to tweet about it. I'm just going to talk about it right now to the fans.
Okay.
Whoever is in the chat room and sees the show between now and tomorrow.
No one in Los Angeles watches the show. We've checked all the numbers, and everyone in L.A. refuses to watch.
So we're like touched by an angel.
Wow. You did not hear that from me.
Well, so I'm very excited because Cubs win, hopefully, here in LA.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate when Antoon was tweeting, Cubs don't win, Cubs don't win.
Yeah.
To you.
I don't appreciate any of that.
Jamie, how was your week?
Can't you tell? I've been laying out all week.
Brown as a barbaloot.
Yep.
Nice.
But I've been living in my swimsuit instead of underwear. It's the best. I love it.
And you had some folks over, and I understand.
A couple days.
Yeah.
Had a couple folks over.
People by the pool.
Mm-hmm. Loving it.
Just loving it.
Got new patio furniture. Cinco de Mayo's coming up.
How excited are you for the de Mayo?
Oh, Elaine got a grande bull piñata. I'm very excited.
Bull grande.
I think it's bull. Yeah, I think it's bull, comma grande.
Uh-huh.
We're very excited. I got all kinds of junk to put in it. It's gonna be a blast. Like 6 flavors of margaritas. J-Max on shots. I'm already making shot glasses out of ice. It's gonna be. Our neighbors are gonna hate us. It's gonna be great.
Sammy, I wish you were invited. Now,
it's all right. I understand my place.
I should mention absolutely positively this show is being brought to you by Netflix. With Netflix, hello, you can watch thousands of TV episodes and movies streamed to your PC, Mac, or TV instantly. Plus, get DVDs by mail in about 1 business day. Hey, for a free 30-day trial, go to netflix.com/Kevin. Wow, I repeat, free 30-day trial. Go to netflix.com/Kevin. Speaking of Kevin, it's time for Ask Kevin, isn't it?
Ask Kevin.
So smooth, like a baby's bum. Like a baby's bum.
Hey, speaking of impressions,
Jesus.
I just want to throw this out there. I just need to throw this out
Please.
there. Miley Cyrus was on American Idol this week, for some reason.
All right.
And I've decided that Vanessa Bayer's impression of Miley Cyrus
On the SNL?
on the SNL is actually somehow a more accurate representation of Miley Cyrus than Miley Cyrus is herself. Does that make sense?
It does, because that's the highest compliment that someone who does impersonations can
I
get.
think she's pretty cool.
Yeah, see? She has reinvented what Miley sounds like. We think of, you're right.
When I see Miley, I'm like, you don't sound like that. You sound like Vanessa Bayer does you, and now you're changing so people won't think her impression is that good.
Yeah.
It is spot on.
She's growing up.
Yeah, I don't.
Sammy, you have to let her grow up.
No.
She's 16 now.
I think she's older than that.
I think so.
At least I hope she is.
Yeah. Her dad's still in the business, though, right? Ask Kevin from Bino76. Kevin, what if if I follow you, I get a date with the real Zoe D? It's the question. If you want to write more intelligent questions to me that I can answer on the show, write to contact@kevinpollakschatShow.com, and we will answer your questions as we can. In the case of whether this person gets a date with the real Zoe D for following me, is that what it was? Yeah, of course you do.
I believe that's Zoe Deschanel.
The Zoe Deschanel has agreed after my harassing her on the Twitter last night.
Oh.
She DM'd me saying I would love to do the show.
That's fantastic.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
We hustled and pressured first Fred Savage through Twitter to come on the show. As everyone knows, I refuse to deal with an agent, publicist, or manager. Although I am currently dealing with Tom Hanks's publicist, as his assistant called up and said, you know what, Tom would like to do the show. What?
Well, there you go.
So now I have to deal with a publicist who took 109 interviews.
Well, I mean, it's Tom Hanks.
But it's Tommy.
It's Tommy.
It's Tommy. I need to drop more names before our guests come on. Let's see, who else? We just got Nick Offerman. Is that how you say his name?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Nick Offerman, who we love as Ron Swanson, of course, on the Parks and Rec.
By turkey burger, do you mean a deep-fried turkey leg shoved in a hamburger? Because I've had one, and it's delicious.
Thank you.
That's my favorite one.
The best Ron Swanson line I've ever heard, and I still laugh about it, is, I just want to make sure, bring me all the bacon and eggs you have in the restaurant. I laughed at that for 2 days.
He loves his meats, I believe is what the theme is.
And
that
breakfast
you're getting.
foods.
And breakfast foods, yeah. As depicted on the poster, I think, behind his desk. We're big fans. So he's apparently agreed to come on, I believe on the May 22nd. Don't Tell John show. And And now it's time for this week's winner of the Larry King game. This one by a longtime fan of the show at Purple Monkey 27. Okay, so here we go. This Purple Monkey 27. Have you received a T-shirt before? If yours is selected, you win yourself a Kevin Pollak's Chat Show T-shirt. So we'll find out if the Purple Monkey 27 has been selected before, because I know he's a regular listener, watcher of the show. Everyone knows that I am retiring from my show here soon. What you don't know is that I will be starring in an off-Broadway musical based on the Oscar-nominated flick Brokeback Mountain. Kankakee, Illinois. You're on the line. Kankakee, is that a place in Illinois?
Might as well be.
All righty. Thank you, Sam.
Anytime.
So Purple Monkey 27, get yourself a T-shirt by writing back to us at contact@kevinpollakschatcher.com and tell us your shirt size and address, and get your damn T-shirt, you son of a bitch. Yeah, we didn't talk about the royal wedding, and I think it's on a need-to-care basis at this point. I had an opportunity beyond belief. I had to do morning radio, so
yeah.
I was kind of tossing and turning the way you do when you're on West Coast time and you arrive on the East Coast and you know you have to get up and you can't get to sleep. And I kind of woke up around 4 o'clock, and 6 blocks away on the giant Jumbotron live was the royal wedding. And I thought for a nanosecond, that's it. I could get up and I had this opportunity to be in my... that put me to sleep. That's how I finally got to sleep. I just had to think about it.
It also put me to sleep. I will just say this very quickly.
Okay.
You cannot call Kate Middleton a middle-class girl. She is the daughter of millionaires. Her family, they're millionaires. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I don't know what economy they live in.
In what parallel bizarre
world universe is, oh, well, it's a millionaire family, a middle-class girl. Solid middle-class girl.
They're trying to build a story, Sam. They're trying to sell something.
Fuck you and your story. That's all I have to say.
You know what? That's why I think we were able to defeat the Redcoats with talk like that.
It was tough talk. Putting them in their place.
Yeah, we tough-talked them. And they went, oh, I don't care for this at all. They keep dropping F-bombs. I'll be over here if you need me.
Is that Stewie?
Yes. Actually, it is. Thank you for noticing. Not gay. All right, so congratulations to the kids. God bless you. My grandfather was born and raised in Leeds. I'm half British, so I'll give you this, because it's half of that. That's what my mom always taught me, just so you know. All right. Oh, least I forget, and then we're about 14 minutes away from getting you guys. I have to thank our original fan, friend of the show, our Mel from the Flight of the Conchords. Her birthday is today. Big shout out to Martha, please.
Martha _S.
She got her first birthday shout out from John Hamm, so.
That's right.
She did.
Oh my, Johnny Hamm, and all today you're getting is me. What unbelievable. Where have we gone?
Well, she gets Garfunkel and Oates eventually.
But that puts pressure on them to wish her happy. All right.
They'll do it.
Happy birthday, Martha _S. We love you. You'll always be our Mel. And now I have to read the actual copy for the Netflix. That was just a little warm-up before.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, this chat show is being brought to you by Netflix. Netflix delivers movies to your home in about 1 business day. Plus, you can instantly stream thousands of TV episodes and movies directly to your PC or Mac or right to your TV through a Netflix-enabled device such as Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii, or how I do it, from a Blu-ray DVD player. Lickety-split. All without late fees or due dates. One of the movies available to watch instantly this week on Netflix is The Cable Guy, starring Jim Carrey. I picked this one because I think it's my favorite Jim Carrey performance in the motion pictures. Highly underrated and underscored, as it were, at the box office numbers. But oh man, is he remarkable in this film. It's a big recommend for you. And you can watch it instantly from Netflix, along with countless other TV shows and specials like the great stand-up comedy special, Demetri Martin, Person. Also, if you want to see the most extensive interview he's ever given, look to our archives. He was a great guest here a couple of weeks ago. For a free trial, I say it again, free trial, and to Netflix instant streaming of thousands of movies, TV episodes, and more, go to netflix.com/ Kevin, be sure to sign up with this URL, netflix.com/Kevin. Free 30 days. Yeah, get it? And I want to personally thank Netflix for being a sponsor of the show. Very, very pleased that you've joined us and are happy as hell with your decision.
Thank you, Netflix.
Yes. I'm glad that they're taking over the world. I'm a big fan. I'll tell you otherwise, too. I think you know by now. The way I just gave the royal family the finger, I think you know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And
I like that there's no, they don't have a brick and mortar operation because they can just pick up and go.
Yeah, and I just like the instant thing. You've been talking about this for 15 years. Someday you're going to be able to do a thing, and a movie's going to come instantly, whichever. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And they're all scrambling and figuring out how they can be the Netflix, and they're all can't figure it out. My guest today, I'm so very happy about this, because from the first time I saw them perform, I thought, finally, two gals, funny as hell, creative as hell, singing original songs that made me laugh so very, very hard that I listen, I've been a comedian my whole life, and you know, it's a hard thing, actually, to find anything that'll make me laugh at this point. So when it happens, you know, you can't help but take notice and sort of, we talked with a few comedians over the last couple of years that have been guests on the show about that moment when you see someone's act and you go, I wish I had thought of that. That is not the case with these two, because I cannot sing or play an instrument. However, the brilliantly funny lyrics that you saw in the opening of the show, if you're watching live, if you're watching on iTunes, you don't get to see it. You got to go to YouTube and just type in Weed Card. You can watch for yourself. It's just spectacular, and I'm thrilled to death because I'm a huge fan. I'm going to say Garfunkel and Oates, but I've got real names here, too. We put Garfunkel and Oates in the opening beautiful month thingy there. And is that okay? Because yeah, because, you know, that's the name of the act.
Did they get an intro name?
But Riki and Kate, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And happy birthday, Martha_S.
Happy birthday.
If only there was an instrument, we could have sung a
Told you could count.
My guitar's in the car.
whatever's. So really, honestly, thank you. For being
thank
here.
you for
Yeah,
having
very
us.
excited. Things are, the last couple of years have been absolutely insane. You know, we put together a little dossier on each guest, and congratulations on a myriad things.
Thank you.
Oh my.
Thanks.
It's a very exciting time. So A, how are you not completely and utterly exhausted? Because it's been a bit of a whirlwind.
I think we are, actually.
Yeah, I just had a Red Bull. So,
yeah, all right.
I've been drinking tea all day. We
Yeah.
just flew in from Utah, so we're a little sleepy.
And
but
boy, is your Mormon tired.
Yes. Yeah.
How were the shows?
amazing.
They were good. It was
so much fun.
We thought it was going to be the opposite of what it was, but yeah, people were really cool and they laughed at things, and yeah, we didn't get
I
any.
thought people were going to walk out because,
Yeah.
you know, we can be pretty dirty and raunchy, and no, it wasn't the case at all.
What was the venue?
Wise Guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Basically a comedy club.
yeah, and it was packed and people were
People,
laughing.
yeah, it was a great response.
We thought the opposite was going to happen.
Yeah.
So we were pretty excited.
How long have you, it was a couple of years now that you've been actually touring.
Like two
Yeah.
years maybe?
I think it was August of 2009 when we started.
Yeah.
So, actually, I know it was August of 2009.
You did?
August?
Yeah.
Which day of August?
Yeah.
It was the middle of the month. I don't remember exactly.
I'm
That's
gonna
when we went
say
to
the 14th.
Seattle.
Oh, in Seattle.
Yeah,
That's when
our
we booked our
first-
own gigs. That
Yeah,
was
we-
not good.
We first played a
You
gay
would
bar
cold
in
call?
Seattle.
No, we got offered to do a
Gay
gig.
bar in Seattle was
Yes.
your first.
Rebar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
We got a
gonna-
MySpace asking us to come and play, and they said, "So, what's your rate? How much do you charge?" And I wrote back, "I don't know, because we've never gotten paid before. Send." That's what I wrote because I didn't know any better.
You were honest.
Yes.
And
yeah.
they laughed and said, "Oh, you."
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And so they were like, "We'll
So
pay for
they
your
paid you
flight."
nothing.
And we're like, "Great." Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We were excited to go to a venue where people knew who we were and they sang along, and we were like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
It was weird. It still is weird. It was weird to go to Utah and be like, "These people know our songs."
yeah, it was
Yeah.
surreal.
It's pretty amazing how quickly, though, it's all sort of happening, because I don't think either of you were doing solo stand-up necessarily.
No.
Well, you were doing solo music for about a
Like
year.
a one-woman show
Yeah,
more.
but some of my songs are funny, but like lightly funny. They're not the songs that we write for Garfunkel and Oates are very much, jokes are carefully placed within the melodies, and so it's definitely we aim to be funny rather than, I think the stuff I was doing before was just happy. You know?
But we had no aspirations to do comedy clubs, and we didn't know what we were going to do at first. Our first maybe 4 songs, 2 of them were funny and 2 were serious.
Yeah.
And then everyone just watched the funny ones, and we're like, okay, I guess we're going to go that way. But we were just doing it for fun.
It really was the internet that sort of
decided.
It told us what we were supposed to do in a way.
That's the great thing about it, actually, is that
Yeah.
the audience actually does want to participate and loves when you allow them to actually affect the outcome of what you're doing.
And they did.
And I don't know, at least for me, I don't think it was a conscious thing at first, like realizing that, the funny songs are the ones that are popular. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, it was for me.
Yeah.
I was like, they voted. We're not doing any more serious stuff.
I didn't quite follow in the beginning, so
Well,
it took me a little while to catch on.
that's all right. I mean, you're musicians and artists first, and then, I think organically it just sort of develops on its own. And the audience always going to dictate what material is something that they'd like to see again and something they'd like you to cut from the act.
Yes.
Based on...
Yeah.
Definitely. We've played
We've had
songs
that.
before that we were like, we aren't going to play that song ever
Yeah.
again.
We have one song that we played once, exactly. And
And
we're
it
like,
got such a bad reaction.
wow. They
I was
do not
talking
like it.
last night to the friends after the show where I was saying the audience was not enjoying themselves, let's just say. And because I'm just too old to say I was bombing. But it's a weird, bizarre phenomenon because early on in your career, you tend to get immature about it and blame the audience, and the instinct is to turn on them a little bit because you want to say, this same thing killed either in the earlier show, exact same thing,
Right.
or last night. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because that's the obvious situation to the performer, whereas the audience didn't come in mean-spirited like we're gonna screw this guy, right? I mean, are we all together on this? But it's a weird phenomenon that it happens as one. Some weird ilk or thing happens in the room
So bizarre.
and alienates the entire group of absolute strangers who have never been together as a group ever before. When you break it down into these aspects, it becomes impossible to calculate or even overcome. So
It's hard to get them back.
that becomes a challenge.
You and for us, I feel like it might be a little easier because we're just like, whenever we totally lose them, we're like, let's play our funniest song, go, and hope that works, but it doesn't always.
Right.
And I think that's the interesting thing about doing 2 shows in one night. You realize that something that, like you said, might have been so funny in the first show that everyone loved, doesn't work in the second
that
show.
happened last night.
It happened last night, and
Yeah.
and it's like, well, what is that?
Right.
It's a mystery, I guess.
Yeah.
Or it just wasn't. Maybe I just blew it.
No, I think it's the thing that keeps us all on our toes, and there's a sense of I can live and die by my own wits on a moment-by-moment basis that makes it the most potent drug on the planet for a performer, never really knowing what's coming next. That's just crazy exciting. When it's bad, it stinks a whole bunch.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, it stinks mostly just in the moment.
Yeah.
Like already the next day, I am absolutely in hysterics when I think about how horrible it went last night in front of people that I really wanted to impress.
Oh, it's always like that. It's bad when you know those people are there
Yeah.
in the audience. I never want to know if someone I totally love is in the audience because
Yeah.
it makes me kind of freeze up. Or
The thrice Academy Award nominated Jason Reitman, filmmaker extraordinaire, who had heard my CD and wrote me an email saying, yeah, this was great, I love it, love it, love it, love it, and then for the first time saw me live last night, and then we were afterwards drinking beers going, how horrible was that, you poor son of a bitch. So, did something really bad come out of it? Just for me in a personal experience way. All right, let's change the subject to a fantastic experience that I want to believe you must have had in Australia. I'm so jealous. Tell us about your recent trip there.
oh, it was really cool.
It was
It,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was shocking too. We didn't know that anyone knew who we were in Australia.
Right.
And again, we thought it was going to be nobody, and we were wrong. And
It is. It's a weird thing because it's so far away, but you forget that the internet is not far away at all.
Did you,
Yeah.
in fact,
So-
forget that?
Yes, completely. No, no.
I don't know why. I just didn't think people were going to know
I
who
didn't
we were.
realize you were not the brains of the
You didn't?
What do you mean?
That you forgot that the interwebs was in fact
It's such a
WW.
big thing, though, for us. They definitely know who we are in Australia.
Well, we all work in a vacuum. And until you get out to...
Yeah.
You don't really. Although I do feel like we had our first big bomb. Like, we bombed before, but we had our first
bombed pretty
spectacular
badly.
bomb
In Australia.
Yeah, our first night.
Yeah,
No, first show.
It was
The
really,
televised
okay.
event.
We did this thing. It was.
Which they'll sweeten, or was it live?
I don't know. It was live.
It was live, and it was no.
Oh,
It wasn't live, but
was
it was
live
in
to
front
tape,
of
yeah.
like 2,000 people, and
The
then
show
they,
was
yeah,
live,
and they
so-
aired it on national TV on some hugely popular time slot or whatever. I guess a ton of people saw it, and we got that thing where this audience didn't know who we were, and you kind of have to overcome the thing being girls with instruments.
Sure.
You get that sort of like.
I remember the first time I saw you guys was at M Bar.
Oh, wow.
really?
You saw us early on.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Common Rotation. We're doing songs, and they brought you
And
guys up.
we sang Fuck You with Common Rotation.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was fun.
And I remember, like, immediately being caught by it, and instantly we were on board, Jamie and I. But I was looking around the room to see how everybody else was taking it, and most of the people were on board, but a couple of people were sort of, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just the thing about two smart, funny women. It's always going to be a problem for you with certain people.
And instruments, too, like Ricky's saying, I think it's sort of, it can be looked down upon with
Yeah.
comedy.
And when it was 2,000 people, we only had one song that was 2.5 minutes. That's all the time we got.
Wow.
And they chose our song.
2.5 minutes?
Yeah. And they
It's
chose
not
our
enough
song,
time.
and it wasn't a song that, it wasn't really one of our funny songs. And it was the song we played with Common Rotation. It's like got a couple jokes, but it's that song "Fuck You," and they also bleep out the fucks on TV, which is our only real joke for the song. So it was just kind of a huge.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It was just, we're like, wow. So
That's the first show you did, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
And all the other shows were fine, but that was our first time I think we really, really felt the sting of bombing. Like,
In front of
really
2,000 people, knowing it
spectacularly.
was going to be a television event, you come off
Yeah.
stage, and
Yeah.
how do you build each other back up? Do you just say, the hell with it, we're fine? Or what was the actual, what did you go through?
I think
Riki
I was
was-
mad for like 15 minutes, and then was kind of like, well, what are you
can
going to do?
Yeah.
I
we
walked
just
off
went
stage last night, and just, on my walk to the dressing room was, oh boy, oh wow.
Yeah.
I just kept saying that for 20 minutes, I think. Oh, wow. Wow. Just trying to cleanse the palate of my brain
Yeah.
from the memory.
Yeah, luckily
you
ours
want to forget
was
about
only
it totally,
2.5
right?
minutes, so it took me like 15 minutes. If it was an hour, it would have taken me a lot longer.
Yeah.
Right, that's true. I did suffer this for an hour.
Yes.
You're not wrong. Actually, I suffered it for a half hour until I got to the Christopher Walken impression, and then everyone was my friend. And one of the friends afterwards was saying, I could sense in you that when you got to the thing that they seemingly came to see and they loved you instantly, a part of you was like going, fuck you, because you didn't want to pander. You know, I know this is what you want, and now the monkey's going to dance. But sure enough, it was, the last half of the set was a lot better than the first half.
But it's such
Because
a
I talked
bummer
about
that you have
politics
to-
and religion, and I didn't want to hear it.
You still closing with the rape bit?
No, there's no
Open
raping.
and close with
There's-
the rape bit.
Is the chat room back happening? Is everything? No. Coming and going?
Can't get in.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Because they're in there. I see them.
And they have questions, and I can't get to them.
Ah.
Oh, no.
Is there another way? We do a couple of things on the show, and you were kind enough to wish Martha _ a happy birthday. One of the things you do on the show that the audience puts forth is called a Tweet 5, and it is 5 questions, rapid fire, this or that, Coke or Pepsi, no correct answer kind of thing.
Okay.
We have a little loaded up Tweet 5 thingamajig. What do you call that, a bumper? That
Sure, bumper.
your friend Dave Keckner was kind enough to put forth.
Oh, nice.
I did say Tweet 5. Is everyone asleep at the wheel? It used to be. Isn't he the best?
He's the best.
He's in our read card video.
Yep.
This one was written directly for you by Martha _ S.
Oh,
okay.
happy birthday, Martha.
We have to answer at the same time.
Right?
Yeah,
We'll try to do it at the same time.
Totally.
Britt or Jermaine?
Jermaine.
Brit.
Nice. The Rosa Parks or the moon landing?
Moon landing.
Rosa Parks. Oh.
This is perfect.
Oh, I didn't even know what that was referencing. That's referencing the Sex
One of our
Positions.
songs, yeah.
I was thinking of the actual moon landing.
Yeah. I was like, I'd rather do it on a bus.
Again, I'm still thrown by you not being the smart one. The 80s TV or 80s movies?
80s TV.
Nice. Finally got one together. Ooh, now I'm in trouble because I don't know this person and I feel horrible. The first name is John, Jon, last name Lajoie.
LaJoie.
Thank you. John LaJoie or the Dan Band?
John LaJoie.
Oh, I like them both.
See?
Damn, I have to pick one,
There's
huh?
no correct answer, but it's a Sophie's choice.
All right, John LaJoie.
Nice. Fill this idiot in as to who John LaJoie is. That's not the guy from The League, is it?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, Canadian singer. He has a
Right.
bunch of hilarious songs on YouTube. He has like 40 million hits on his videos. So
Yeah.
it's huge.
Right.
He has an amazing song called "Show Me Your Genitals," which is like a very clinical rap song. It's pretty amazing.
Right on.
Yeah, I think the first time I saw him was in his hometown in Montreal, and he's a rock star.
Yeah.
Everybody was singing along. It was really cool.
And
Yeah.
this was at the Comedy Festival or no?
Yeah, this was 2008 at the Comedy Festival at the Amped show. They do all music acts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Have you guys done that?
Yes.
Yep.
Was
Yeah.
that the year?
Yeah.
I was doing my solo stuff that year. Then the following year we did Garfunkel and Oates there, and then last year we went and did some other shows there.
Yeah. We did the HBO thing. We didn't do AMP last year, but we did Montreal.
You mentioned the three letters, so now we must talk about a much talked about development deal that HBO
Yes.
threw at you. It was announced January of this year.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy indeed. And also, again, so fast into your career as a duo.
Yeah.
You must be aware of how uncanny the rise is.
Yes, absolutely.
Not that you didn't pay your dues and not that you don't deserve all the success because you're only getting this attention because you're good.
But we're aware.
But you're aware of how
We-
crazy fast it's all
Yes.
happening.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the only time where it's been an advantage to be a woman in Hollywood. We've both been acting for a decade,
Right.
and it's never an advantage. There's no parts for us. There's no, there's every movie there's 50 parts for guys, and then there's one girl, and that's
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
it's been the only time where it's actually felt like an advantage, where
Right.
people want women on the shows, and I feel like we got to do things a lot quicker because of it.
We got thrown into some really awesome shows kind of right off the bat,
Yeah.
where we were surrounded by these people we had admired for so long, and we're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
You know?
we sat there like
So-
trying to be like cool. We're like, oh, hey, Patton Oswalt, and then Sarah Silverman, and then we would look at each other and go,
Yeah, or we'd like get in our car afterward.
and we would leave and go,
Like, it was literally
And
that
we're like-
kind of, that,
and we just feel like everyone must be onto us. We're like that we're not supposed to be there, and they probably were, but we were
It's
just
very
sitting there
important you feel that way, I think. And by the way,
Like, we can't help it. We're like,
as you continue to rise up, you should continue to feel that way because as you get to the next level, and the next level, and the next level, and you will, hopefully that never goes away because it's who you really are.
I hope so too.
I keep
Yeah.
waiting to get fired every film I've been hired for.
I
The
feel
first
like
2
we always
weeks,
feel that
Me
way,
too.
right?
Yeah.
It's like,
waiting for someone to walk up and go, "Oh, we've made a horrible error."
yeah.
We didn't realize you're not talented and you're not funny. Goodbye. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always think that's gonna
It's
happen
the
to me.
constant fear. But
Yeah.
then I heard Meryl Streep talk about that she has that same fear, right? Like,
Meryl Streep.
yeah.
Jimmy Stewart, all the way to the end, I heard was every
Really?
time he finished a movie, I said, "Well, I think that's it. I'll bet it's the last one. They
Oh
don't
my
call
God.
again, no matter."
That almost makes me sad because he's so amazing.
Yeah.
He's maybe my favorite male actor of all time.
I still can't believe I'm friends with Kevin Pollak. I meant Jackson Pollock. I was thinking somebody else.
Hey, hi. You can stay one more week.
No, but yeah, we're very aware of how fast things have gone and how lucky we are, and mostly because things happened to us before we realized what they were. Like we got into Montreal and we're like, that sounds cool, and then we would talk to comedians being like, oh, I've auditioned for that 7 years in a row. Comedians who are amazing, and we're
Right.
like, oh, okay,
Right.
this is okay, got it.
Well, yeah, perspective is the only way you can know.
We're
Yeah.
still learning. I mean, we're still learning things all the time about like what we're supposed to be doing. But one of the funny things, Riki was like, "Did you know there's a thing called a booking agent?" And I was like, "No, what is that?"
Yeah, that was TJ Miller, who we just did. We spent the weekend with him in Salt Lake because he was playing the other wise guys.
There's
And-
3 wise guys.
Yeah,
actually.
and-
In Salt Lake?
In Salt Lake, yeah. And I knew 2 comedians. I knew Doug Benson and TJ Miller, the only ones I knew when we started. And we booked that first show where I was like, I don't know how much we get paid, and we didn't get anything. And then we got an email from a college, and they were like, what's your rate? And I was like, well, I can't just write back that we don't have one. And so I called TJ, and I was like, so what do you tell them how much money you get? And he's like, well, you get a booking agent. And we're like, what's that? And we had no idea. And
Sure.
so we were getting offered college gigs and didn't have any idea how to do it, and so.
But then the very day that Riki told me, hey, we need to get a booking agent, this man approached us after his show and said, hey, do you have a booking agent?
And his name was TJ. It's TJ Mark Walter, another
booking
TJ.
agent.
And then my friend Doug called us back the next day and said, oh, I have a great booking agent. His name's TJ Mark Walter, and we're like, we just met him, and that's our new booking
It
agent.
all
That is really
came
great.
together.
It was all like in a day.
Nice. Yeah, there's nothing worse than representing yourself. Just because it's just an awkward, awful thing.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And
But we wouldn't have. I mean, if you hadn't called, we probably would have gone months with just trying to book our own shows.
we've been like, well, I don't know. Let's make up a figure.
Yeah.
We make this much. Or, yeah.
Now, Riki, you referred to what you were developing as Glee with dick jokes.
Yes. Yeah.
Could you care to elaborate on the quote?
Well,
I'm happy with just the quote.
It's just, it's girly and it's fun, but it's really raunchy. It's like our material. It's like it's like innocent and then not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Flight of the Conchords, where it's two people trying to
about
be
our lives.
musicians.
Yeah.
But it's decidedly feminine.
And it goes musical the same way that theirs did, or the same way that Glee does, or the same way that any musical does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't be bigger fans of what those two knuckleheads were able to do. And then when
amazing.
the fact that you're already, from the beginning doing original songs and lyrics, and it's just, we're awfully damn excited. So where are you in the development process? Because those can take 10 years.
We're realizing that. We're learning that too. It just takes longer than you think, because there's so many people that have to approve things and read things, and right now we're in the writing process.
Notes.
Yeah, we have a big call on Wednesday, so hopefully that will be a yes to move
We'll let
things
you know
forward.
how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're excited. We've been writing, for months and months and months. And
How much had you written together in script form, separate from song form?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So this is first for the
Yes.
partnership.
Yes.
And how's that going?
It's good. We're still figuring it out.
We're figuring it out. It's because I never wrote a script before. Riki had actually, and Riki sold a script. Right? So
I know you wrote and directed a couple of shorts also.
Yep, that one that Sam was in. Yeah. My first one.
We'll get to that. But you had not written.
What was that?
You had not written.
No. I write stories and books and not picture books.
You're fairly comfortable with the English language.
I like to draw my books, which is true. I draw a lot of books, but I write a lot of songs, but I never wrote a script before, so.
Yeah, so we're still figuring it out. I'd never written with anyone before, so yeah, we're learning how to do it.
You had co-directed though.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so you're used to sharing the responsibility, and certainly in your songs and your performing, there's a great sort of connection that happens.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of it during the Tweet 5. We're certainly going to see some later during the Larry King game, from what I've heard. But yeah, the writing of the script, now you feel like here's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
We don't want to. I'm hoping that they aren't forcing a sort of showrunner in to restructure whatever you guys create.
Not yet. I mean, I hope not too. But that's the thing that I've heard about HBO though, is that they're really good about, develop. I think that's why it takes longer, because they really let you develop it and find your own voice, and they've been really great about it. And just letting us keep working and trying. And
of course, now that you have actual representatives, you can rely on them to protect you from.
Yeah.
If they're.
I can't believe.
Listen to me. I just want to protect you guys now from the network. Whatever the network is, the studio is, somehow. Right. The very first rule that somebody taught me that has really ruled the day and ruled the day, I should say. I ruled the day beforehand. I'm fairly new to the English language as well, apparently. Was that production will fuck you at every opportunity. And that is to say, whatever they think they can kind of get away with, they will take 100% advantage of any artist if they think they can get away with it. You know? And the only way to find out if they can get away with is to just go for it.
Is to try.
And they're not afraid to go for it. So,
well, it's funny. We haven't experienced that yet in the TV world.
And you may not.
We're still, but we're learning. I think we've grown a lot as women in the last 3 years, because we've had so many things thrown at us.
I never had to be a business person really before. It's a weird thing.
At first we'd just be like, okay, and then whenever we said okay, we would just get pummeled.
Right.
And then as soon as we started being like, well, not that, then it just wouldn't happen anymore.
Right.
And every sort of demand we have is reasonable, but it's you just have to be firm, or else we just got completely pummeled for years.
Yeah.
We were like, oh yeah, we'll show 6 hours early for sound check if that's what you
still
want.
do that.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
We still get tricked sometimes.
Yeah, what time's the show? 8:30. What time do you need us to be there? 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
Okay.
And we
Why
were like, are
we
you
sitting
sure?
there?
And they're like, no, it has to be 5. And we're like, all right. And then we're sitting there for like until like 7:45 before we
Yeah,
sound check.
there's a part of the performer that doesn't completely dissipate.
Yeah.
Because not only are we have a need to please and have everyone like us, we think everyone knows what they're talking about. When
Right.
they say we need you at 5, they know what they're talking
Right.
about. And that is
And they mean that the venue's opening at 5,
And we're
and the
gonna
guy's
open the
going to get
doors
there
at
about
5.
5:30. And
Right.
and you can just sit outside.
I
it's
feel like
fine. Yeah.
over and over again, we're like, next time we're not going to do
Yeah,
this.
we're learning. We're never, it's not going to happen again. But,
Yeah.
But
it does.
next time, it's not going to happen next time, I know it.
Yeah, we backslide. a
Well,
lot.
tell me a little more, now that we got over the hump of the first and awful Australian show.
Oh, yeah.
You played a bunch of other shows there.
And it was
The rest of them were
crazy.
awesome. It was really.
People came out, they knew your songs.
Yeah, I mean,
People, we have a song where we do like a double clap, or just in the YouTube video, but Kate and I can't because we're playing instruments, and people in the audience were like, all
you
right.
know, how did they know how to double clap? But then
Yeah.
again, I forgot about,
The whole internet thing.
yeah.
It was
But,
pretty amazing.
yeah, it was really fun, and it's just kind of neat to be able to go to a whole other,
Country.
yeah, a whole other country that's 15-hour plane ride away,
Yeah.
and still, have
I felt
fans
like
that
we were-
understand us and get
You're
it.
Maybe summer
international
camp, yeah.
stars is what we're talking about.
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah, that's it.
No.
We have the advantage of the internet now,
Yeah.
and it makes you international instantly, but you're not truly that until you travel the hell over there, those 15 hours, and then you find out, oh my God, they know when to double clap, this is amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now we can't wait to go back.
Yeah, we
We
definitely
really want to go back next year.
Yeah.
And keep building that fan base because it was just so cool and so fun, and people were so just into comedy, and not just our shows, like every show. There
That's
was just so many people at that festival, and
They get over 500,000 people a year come through that festival, which is, I think it's about 3.5 weeks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many shows and so many things to see.
Yeah.
We tried to see as many shows as we could, when we weren't performing.
have you been to the Melbourne Comedy Festival?
No, in fact, we never went, and you guys included, were tweeting about the, going over and excited and everything. I called my agent and said, I'm sorry, why have I not done this festival? What the hell is happening? And he said,
Yeah.
I've got these shows lined up. I just booked some, so we'll
Right.
see. We'll see.
It's really
Because I've been
fun.
hearing from Australian fans forever, and I
Yeah.
don't know why. And I know Jamie has been dying to go to Australia forever. Is that not the case?
I'm a mess over here.
Oh, is the interwebs being?
I'm on Kenny's computer, so if you want, I have a couple more questions, but if you want them, I'm going to have to read them
Oh, okay.
because I can't.
Sure.
get
This will be fun. This will be a little experiment. Would you like to serve one up now?
No,
Okay, good.
I'm working on something.
Okay, good.
Oh wait. Okay.
Wait. What?
I got a tweet 5 if you want one.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Tweet 5.
And then we'll talk about work with Dave Keckner.
Okay, cool.
Because we love him.
I love that song.
Right?
Okay, one of our regulars, Lady Diode from Facebook. She has a tweet 5 here. First one is video or live?
Live.
Live.
Keyboard or ukulele?
Ukulele.
Dress or pants?
Dress.
Big Bang or Criminal Minds?
Big Bang.
That's you.
Well, which one do you like better?
Oh, well, because you were in both of those.
Yeah, but you can say.
Oh, Big Bang.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Fuck You or Screw You?
Fuck you.
All right.
Screw You only came about because we were trying to, put
Be
it
on
on
Scrubs.
ABC. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that for. Well, we'll get to Dave Keckner, I promise. Yeah, because that was in 2009. You were acting on the episode.
Yeah.
Is that how the song came to be invited, or the song was first?
It was crazy. It was actually, and we wrote 2 songs for Riki Short that she was making into a musical, and one of them was Fuck You. And meanwhile, I had auditioned for Scrubs, and they wrote me this character, actually, that was a ukulele player, and then they asked me if it would be okay to use that song. And I guess, 6 months had gone by because I had left town to make a movie. Riki had left town to make a movie. We hadn't seen each other in
And
about
I was
6 months.
vacationing through Europe with a boy.
Yeah.
I was completely on
So
another.
Riki's
my.
far,
He's not
far
thinking
away,
about
and
Garfunkel
I'm in this hospital room that's been converted to a dressing room, you
Sure.
know, trying to get Riki in Spain, saying, hey, they want to use our song, is this cool, you know, and then we figured it
Yeah,
out.
I got a call in the middle of the night.
And we were not really, we had yet to perform. We had yet
No.
to be on stage as Garfunkel and Oates yet. So yet our song
You
was
sold
going to be...
a song to network television
Yeah.
before you had performed live.
Yes.
And my favorite thing
That's
was...
pretty damn spectacular.
Yeah, and I have this amazing email from Disney asking which words would we prefer to, you know, use instead of the word fuck. And so there
You
were
couldn't
many,
say nail,
you
right?
couldn't say nail, isn't
That's
that
the one
funny?
we wanted, and they said no.
No.
Nail you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too forceful or something.
Too painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nails like screws.
Screws
are
a little
trying
bit.
to-
Yeah.
Screw is pleasant.
Yeah.
Nails just.
Nails like yeah.
That's why. But we went with screw, and yeah, that was pretty trippy. And
Well, that
actually,
was another thing before we knew what we were talking about, and I get this call from my agent. I'm in Spain, and it's like the middle of the night. And she's like, "So Scrubs wants to use your song, and Kate's gonna sing it. Can they use it?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "How much do you charge for that?" And I was like, "Whatever they offer me. Like, I have absolutely no idea." And she's like, "Okay, so what do I ask for?" I'm like, "Just say yes to whatever, because we don't know." That was back.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
horrible agent, by the way.
But they didn't do music stuff. It was just my acting agent.
I know, but they should have someone
Yeah.
in their office
Oh my gosh.
that they can call.
Now we have so many agents.
Yeah.
Now we have
Welcome to success.
we have
Christmas time, Christmas shopping.
Oh my gosh,
that's crazy.
we went Christmas shopping and we spent so much money because we're like, how many? Oh my God. Okay, so we bought
We just went to the liquor store. We looked like, you know,
we bought
wonderful
2
drunks.
carts of
That's
liquor.
why there's all these places that do these basket deliveries, and they're so damn popular. And
Right. We
should have done
because
that.
it just takes all the pressure away, and it's something.
Yeah.
We sent something.
Yeah.
Those baskets.
The basket's the worst.
You get those all the time, and it's like a bunch of crap, and it's like, what do I don't want oyster crackers. What?
I like the basket because then when you're all done with it, you can put magazines in it and throw it in the bathroom.
Yeah,
It
but you
sounds
can
like
only
you
do
just
that
got
so
the
many
one basket.
times.
Just got one basket.
One
That's,
basket.
Just one
that's the
basket.
thing. That's the thing. That you can only do that so many times before it's like baskets, and then I can't throw them away.
And it's Carmen. Here's a basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Keckner was in Weed Card. Is that the first time you guys worked with him?
No, when did we meet him?
Because he.
Shoot. When did we had
Some
I
show.
don't
We did a show
remember.
with him and we met him backstage.
And we just thought he was the coolest, and he was so nice. And when we were trying to figure out,
What's he doing? T-Bone? Was it a musical thing? Because he's done that
He
himself.
was doing musical stuff. Yeah, he was doing half stand-up, half musical stuff at
Right.
a show, and he's like sort of like mentoring us because
he's given us a lot of great advice.
he's been doing this a long time,
Yeah.
and he's done a TV show with musical numbers, and so we're like, what do we do? And
Right.
he's been great.
Yeah,
He's
and,
so funny in the video too.
Yeah.
and such a sweet guy.
Unbelievably sweet.
Yeah.
I highly recommend the audience immediately go into the archives and check out the interview with him because he was one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, he has
So
a song
nice.
about hand jobs.
He does.
And thankfully has a song about hand jobs. Yeah.
Although we sort of that one
night
it
we
was-
did hand jobs first, not realizing
It was
he
kind
was
of
going
our
to do the hand
fault.
jobs. and-
We had our hand job song. It was just like
It was-
short,
and
these short
then
bits,
Laura
and then Laura
Keitlinger.
Keitlinger had her whole bit was about hand jobs, and she
and
was
then
kind of like,
Dave
"Ugh."
Keckner went on and
then
sang the
David
hand.
had his,
I think the audience was like, it was a Christmas show, of course.
Yeah.
'cause, so I think that
It was a very, very hand job Christmas.
yeah, it was. It was like, you know, like that one year everybody got a flip cam for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was the show where everyone got to learn about
got a hand job.
jobs,
Yeah.
yeah, we gave out free hand jobs
Yeah.
afterward. It was a really good Christmas.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, Kate and I were talking yesterday about we were talking about on stage about how many once we did our hand job rap, how many people sent us Twitters or YouTube being like, well, you can learn how on me. Like
So many people offered, you know, to help us out with
I was just going
Yeah.
to make a note, no more baskets, send hand jobs.
yeah. Kate and I were talking about how that's a really hard thing in Los Angeles for girls to find is dicks to use. That it's,
Sorry?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand what you're
No, we were
saying.
saying everyone like offered up their penises to us to experiment
everyone.
on.
No.
And we were like, that's
Well,
not.
you are doing well.
Yeah. We're like, that's not hard
not
for
what-
a girl to find.
Sam just got way more interested.
You know,
all of a sudden.
you shouldn't judge these guys. Maybe some of them have excellent teaching penises.
They might.
Have you considered that?
I didn't.
Actually,
right.
do you
That's all I'm
remember Sam trying to help us out?
Yes!
Hang on. Let's preface this. For the love of God.
way before we were even singing together. This
was
is like
when we were just friends, and we have always had this hand job questions.
And Sam was offering up his
Sam was-
expertise
it was
or his
Sam and
stunt penis.
He wasn't offering his stunt penis,
But
he
his
was just
hand.
offering just advice.
well, no, and you were
Heads
showing
up.
on your hand.
You know what? This is a family show.
No.
This is a family
No.
program. Look,
forgot about
there
this.
was a question, and the question was grip. And so I was simply showing
First of
proper
all-
grip,
First of all,
improper grip.
this isn't the Nuremberg trial. Relax.
I have a girlfriend who I love very much, and I have assured her that I have no sexual history with either of these women,
Then
and I
she
don't want to
should
be
believe
accused
you.
of lying.
Except for the time you sat on Ricky's couch and showed us how to give a hand
I just
job.
showed you the improper and proper grip. For the love of God, I'm going to have to answer so many questions.
This is now my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, do you want to show?
Christ almighty.
Do you want to reenact?
You know what? Get Negrin in here.
No. You're not passing the buck. Were you grabbing your own wrist? How is it done, the demonstration?
I don't remember.
Do you remember? I don't remember either.
No, I clearly didn't remember because I've had trouble with that
didn't
since.
learn anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, you
Lord.
were sitting on my couch.
Sorry,
and
Sam,
I
I
remember you were
forgot your lesson.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But it
It's
was
all right.
something
Clearly
you
it's
were
worked out.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say my memory of you guys pre-Garfunkel and Oates was how Riki would call me and say, hey, Kate and I just wrote this song. I don't know if it's funny. And then she'd put the phone down on the table and she'd play a song and I'd listen and then she'd go, is that funny? I go, that's hilarious. That's what I was going to tell. You gotta bring dicks in here.
It's what they do, Sam.
Classing up this joint.
Yeah.
We've become really classy in the last 3 years.
I didn't
man.
even swear. I never said the word fuck. Fuck.
Yeah.
You mean in life?
In
or-
life, yeah.
I
I
totally
never
corrupted
ever
you.
said, and yeah, talking about
Sorry.
sex, forget it. Like, no, nothing. I wouldn't. Now that's all out the window.
Well, when we were writing this song, we were on a plane, and I'm always
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm like the brainstorming Nazi, you know. I'm like, what else? What else?
And
I'm
I'll-
like, what
I'll
else do
sometimes
we
be so
really
tired.
understand
I'll
about
be
the
like,
penis? And Kate's like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but we brainstormed for a good 2 hours at least on an airplane, and the poor woman next to us,
She kept
Just-
going like this.
she did not want to hear about hand jobs anymore.
Who doesn't love the heavy sigh from a stranger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always a good
I
one.
said the
next
other day
to-
at Ralph's.
Did you? Oh, you did.
Because there's this app you can put on your phone. You can, it's called Keyring, and you put all your stupid. Every store has a card, so you put all your cards in this app. You take a photo of the barcode. It works some places it doesn't work. It works really good at Ralph's. I handed it to the cashier. Why is everyone using these things? Meanwhile, it's one of the stores where it works. I got shit from her.
It's 2011. That's why.
That's so weird.
Cashiers give me shit when I hand them cash now instead of using a credit card. Does anyone else have this?
You freak. Right?
I go in and it's like, it'll be $8.95. Oh, here's the 10 to go.
At least you're not writing a check.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
worst.
those people. And who are those people still writing checks at the grocery store? And I'm getting the sigh. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Before there was the HBO deal, there was arguably the most read show business trade magazine, Daily Variety, listed Garfunkel and Oates as the top 10 comics to watch for 2010.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And that must have happened 6 to 8 months into the existence of Garfunkel and Oates, or a year?
year and a half.
A year into us performing.
Yeah, a
I'd
year,
say.
probably.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was,
Top 10 comics to watch.
that was amazing.
pretty cool.
Yeah. How do you? First of all, how do you find this out? Who contacts you and tells you this happened?
Our agents or
agents.
managers or someone.
I remember where I was when I got the call.
Where were you?
Do share.
I was at a porn studio shooting, not a porn, but I was like, what did they shoot here? It feels weird. And they're like, porn.
What did you shoot?
I was working with Dan Levy. And so, not making a porn. We were making a dinosaur puppet show. So.
Naturally.
Gonna need to hear more about that. What does that mean?
Oh, it was a take on the dinosaur show from the '90s, and anyway, but it's like, but getting back to what you're asking is like that was a big deal because I remember exactly where it was.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was
Yeah.
it was a huge deal in Montreal, and they had this whole gala thing, and gave us these plaques, and we did one of those talkback Q&A things, and
Oh yeah,
we were just like, wow, and everyone on the list was so funny. That was another time where we're like, what are
There
we
was a
doing?
presentation of the top 10 comics to watch while you were in the Montreal Comedy
and the
Festival.
Yeah.
interviewer was pretty funny. He was
Yeah.
asking really bad questions.
Yeah, that was an interesting panel. That poor guy. The guy
Worse
was.
than this?
Oh my gosh. No, he opened with, so what happens if one of you gets successful and one of you doesn't? Then will the other one quit?
How are we supposed to answer
and we
that
were
question?
like, oh, we don't know. I mean, I don't know.
We should have just gone for it and made something funny. And,
Yeah, but
you
we
know,
didn't. We just went, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think the one kills the other.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
That's what we should have said, but we just went,
We weren't. But,
You were just
but
creeped
that's
out
the
by
thing.
it. It's
Yeah,
such an
we were.
awful-
well, because everyone else, he's like, you're doing amazing and this, and he's like, you guys, if one of you tanks and one of you succeeds, what happens?
Yeah.
We're like,
We kill you?
Yeah.
That's what- yeah. I'm going to write all the answers.
yeah. But that was crazy. But again, like, I mean, not to diminish us in any way, but it was an advantage being a girl to get on a list like that. It was.
Yeah, I don't know that that's enough. You have to be incredibly funny, talented,
No.
and female.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you have to be all
Yeah.
of it. But
Yeah,
yeah, you can get on the list, I think, if you're a guy, but it takes longer.
right.
All the guys had been doing it 10 plus years.
Well, let's look back on the previous female comedy duos. There was...
French and Saunders.
Yeah.
Nicely
go.
done, Sammy.
come up
What
with
year
one.
were French and Saunders around?
I'm going to say late 80s, early 90s, something like that.
So you're going to go back 20, 25 years
And to a whole other country.
and a whole other country.
Yeah, who else is there?
Let me be a little more specific. Let's go back to the American comedy female duos. There was...
Lucy and Ethel.
That was on TV, though. Does that count if it's on TV?
Nice try.
Yeah.
You know, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't even think about that.
well,
I actually haven't thought about that either.
I'm sorry to point it out, and I don't want to put much more of a finer point on it, but
The chat room's offering up some answers.
technically speaking...
Okay.
Who do they say?
Kathy and Mo and the women from Absolutely Fabulous.
That's French and Saunders.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Actually, it's not. That's not French and Saunders. That's Jennifer Saunders and
Right.
different one.
But that's the other
Not
country
French.
you're
They're not
speaking of. So
French,
Kathy and
Right.
Mo would be the only ones, and they did one-woman shows. They didn't never really, I don't believe, had a stand-up act. They just did a couple of one-woman shows.
Joanna Lumley.
Nice,
yeah.
Sammy, you brought it home. Any others, Jane?
The people that played the Jewish women at the Friday night show at UCB, they had the show on Showtime.
Ron and Beverly.
Ron and
yeah.
Beverly. Yeah.
Nice. So
Although,
you're like
yeah.
the 17th,
Right.
really.
Ever. Yeah.
It's kind of tired.
Well, I
I
think
feel
that- I
weird
think-
even booking you.
The main point is we're counting all of these across the history of comedy on one hand.
I know.
I think that's really the key.
It's
this point you're
remarkable. So I
making.
don't want. I hope you at some point allow yourselves a little bit of your success as opposed to we have an advantage because no, there are no advantages in this business as it turns out. The good news is there's no justice either.
Right.
And the thing, you start to feel like, we're really lucky to do this, and at some point, you'll feel as though you earned it.
Yeah. At some
and-
point, hopefully, we're working hard. We're working really, really hard.
I mean, you
think,
want
in hopes
to-
to feel like we earned it.
Right. You want to feel deserving of the good fortune that's come your way.
Yeah.
I still feel though. I think we're both at the point now. Like we're tired of the material we've been doing, and we're kind of in the new song phase. We're writing new things, and I mean, because we've been singing these songs for a year and a
years.
half, and so like we're ready for. We're not ready to be like, hey, that was great. We're like, no, what's next?
We're like, we're throwing all this away.
Yeah.
We're
How
starting
many
over.
songs do you have at this point?
Oh gosh.
Close to 20.
Oh, I think more than that. If you count like the ones that we've done that we haven't kept in
Oh.
our repertoire, but
Yeah.
for like.
So when you did
TV
the
or
set
something.
this last weekend, would you mix it up or do pretty much the same numbers?
Oh, we mixed it up
Yeah.
a lot. We always write out a set list, but we never stick to it.
Good.
In
Sadly,
fact, our
so
set list
sad.
was stolen in between shows yesterday, so
By
we
a
had to wing it.
fan.
Yeah.
And our kazoos were stolen.
What?
Took our
Yeah.
kazoo. Yeah, people
That's
started
not a fan,
taking
that's
us-
an actual thief.
I know.
People started. We've started to realize that we have to take stuff off the stage immediately, which
Or
is a
give
bummer.
everyone kazoos, which we do in LA.
Yeah.
This was totally Ricky's idea, and I didn't understand it at first, but now I totally am on board. But Ricky makes gift bags for everybody. Well,
At the UCB show, we caught with Garfunkel and Oates presents, and we got these little bags made, and there's like kazoos and candy and just fun stuff and stickers. And
lighters.
we just stick them on everyone's chair.
Aw.
George
that-
Carlin used to do the same thing.
He did?
No.
Aw. What was in them?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I
what was in
can't
it,
imagine.
Sammy?
Reefer.
Yeah.
Reefer.
There's a basket for your bathroom.
chocolate chip cookies.
So let's talk about how exciting it was when the song got on Scrubs, and you're in Spain, did you come back by the time?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
aired,
it was probably a
right?
good 5 months before it actually aired, 5 or
Yeah.
6 months. But I think that was really helpful for us to just get people to know who we were.
Such a turning point, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
'Cause
lot
they
of
looked
people,
you up, and then they would find us.
they'd
and-
find that song, yeah.
Because you both had been auditioning as actresses
Forever.
all
Yeah,
this
and-
time and working.
And working,
Yeah.
yeah, Riki, I mean, longer than I think, but
Yeah, I think I started maybe 3 or 4 years before.
Yeah.
You. Yeah.
but I think that yeah, it was one of those things where that happened, and then like we started to perform more, and it just sort of started to gel.
But this is so much better than just auditioning. I'm sure you know, like it's just like, it's nice not having everything in someone else's hands.
Yeah, no, it's the best.
Yeah.
Well, I think it helps to keep you sane. Like at least for Garfunkel and Oates. Well, I mean, it's changed a little bit with HBO and all of that stuff that's happening. But with our shows, we don't have to check in with anyone. We do our thing that we want to do, and we go up on stage and we do it.
We didn't sign a record deal for that reason.
Yeah.
We did the album ourselves because we're like, we don't want to ask
thank
anyone when we
goodness.
put it up. We
It
don't
was
want to ask anyone what we can do. And
It's exactly what we wanted to make, and we made it. And then
Right. Well, we showed the video at the top, and for the folks not watching live, catching us later, you have to go to the YouTube, and look up Weed Card, Garfunkel and Oates. Tell us about those 2 versions available online. The one you did, what appeared to be sort of a demo, sitting on one of your couches, I assume.
on my couch, yeah.
On your couch. And then this incredibly fully realized, fantastic film, little short music video, basically.
Yeah, that was our friend Raul. Like, basically, once we started making a little bit of money, every bit of money we make from tours and stuff goes into our little joint bank account.
We're
and then,
married.
Yeah. And once we make a little money, we
I
find
think
something.
everyone knew that.
Yeah. We find something to spend it on, and we were like, we really wanted to make a video with our friend Raul Fernandez, and we were basically like, here's the budget. You do it. We trust you. We'll see it when we put it up.
And it was, I mean,
was
I
it.
actually, that shoot was really one of those moments where I thought, okay, things have really changed for many reasons. We
Yeah.
showed up on a Saturday morning, and already there was a choreographer with about 20 dancers. They all knew the song. I mean, we had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
And we were like, what is this? And then the second day of shooting, we had put on Twitter, hey, anybody that wants to be an extra in our video, come on by. And we were in the middle of the ghetto in Los Angeles and in a parking lot, and it's
pouring rain.
pouring. Like one of those, like LA doesn't get rain like this very often, and it was crazy. And 60 people came out and danced with us for the entire night.
Oh my
It was
God.
magical.
It was, and then we ended up.
We got a little tent and a little
we-
warming thing that we had to just get.
We ordered pizzas and sang songs to everybody, and everybody sang along, and it was like, what is happening
It was
right now?
amazing. They were setting up the lights, and we were all just under the tent and singing.
Yeah.
And everyone had like lighters out, and it was great.
Yeah,
We're
well,
like, this
those
is
are
different.
those are the moments I think that carry you way through the ones we talked about at the opening,
Yeah.
which are this crowd is not enjoying me at all.
Yeah.
And it also carries you through like the hardship of being an actor and just the constant rejection and stuff because
Yeah.
you know you have this other thing to go. You know, that night you're going and you're performing and
Yeah.
you're making your own thing, and nobody gives you permission. You
I
just
know.
put it up.
Every time I go to New York now, they were asking me again last night, when are you going to do a play? When are you going to do a show on Broadway? Somebody's musical, somebody's play. And aside from the fact that I can't sing, the idea of doing somebody's play, I mean, if you don't have stand-up as an outlet, then I understand wanting to get on stage live in front of an audience as an actor. But if you have stand-up as an outlet, where you control every element of what comes out of you, taking the audience for a ride of your choosing for an hour, how could you possibly, I mean...
It's amazing.
I don't want to deny it as an experience because I went and saw Jim Gaffigan, for example, in that championship season, and he is a phenomenal actor in this play
Oh, good.
and a revelation in this performance, and I told him so, of course. And he was saying, "Oh man, you got to do it," and I just kept thinking, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. Have you guys?
My first real gig, first paying gig was a play. Actually, I did a play for a year and a half.
This thing at Tim Robbins?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
Embedded,
and it
yeah.
brought you to London?
In New York, and yeah, it started
New
in
York
LA.
and LA? Embedded.
Yeah.
No, tell us about
And
that experience.
Well, it was just amazing because I had wanted to be part of this company, and I'd written them letters, like trying to get an
The
audition.
Actors Gang?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I finally got an audition, and I got cast in this thing, and it just kept going, and we just kept going to bigger venues, and
Right.
and it was cool to do 8 shows a week, and just from going from not acting at all to being on stage every night was just so incredible. But then this is better though. It was amazing doing someone else's play, and then this is so much better than that.
And why would you say it's better? In terms of a personal
Oh, because you get to
appreciation.
do whatever you want.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's, you do get a little bored after 8 shows a week, 9, 10, 11 months in. You know, it's, doing it same thing again, and sometimes
The Groundhog
TV shows
Day
that-
effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is, if we get bored of something, we just put it away and do something else.
But you see, I've yet to experience that. I've done plays, but on a much smaller scale. A couple weekends or a month or something, and never a really long. I really want to try it. Like I have to try it at some point. I think. So at least once to see. So I could compare it.
Sure.
But I don't know. Broadway to me is like the cool. Well, we're both big Broadway
Sounds
geeks.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you go next, you have to finagle some Book of Mormon tickets because
That's what is the.
it'll change your religion.
Well, we just came from the real Mormons.
When I was doing the play in New York, I was in the Broadway. And
Didn't change anything.
Yeah, I was in the Broadway softball league, and so I got to see all these people, and it's amazing, and they're all living their dreams, but it's also it's a job like ours is, where it's just you have to kind of change your whole life to be in a musical. You can't go out at night, really.
No.
You can't yell at. You can't go to a loud bar. You can't go to a loud restaurant. You have to change your
Protect
schedule,
your
what you
instrument and
eat,
all of
and you
that,
have to exercise every day. Yeah, it's a whole lifestyle.
Again, sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, of a 9-month run, I imagine the first 3 months would be heaven on earth.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever. I'm on Broadway. Can't believe it. Middle 3 months, I can get through this. It's still good, right? And then the last 3 months, there's a gun in my mouth every night before I go on stage.
Yeah.
How am I going to do this?
All right. And then,
So-
Kate and I have a thing that we do when we don't feel like doing shows.
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh my gosh,
Sometimes when you're so tired, it's
Sure.
not that you don't want to do the show, it's that, you haven't slept in however many days and you're just like, you're kind of crazy. We picture that somebody came from a really, really far distance and they spent money they didn't have to come see us. And we're like, somebody drove
We meet those people.
5 hours.
Absolutely happens.
Yeah, somebody drove 5 hours. They don't have the money to buy a $20 ticket and they bought one anyway. And they really want, so we're like, okay, we're doing the show for that guy. Whenever we're feeling really like uninspired, we think about someone like that, and that usually gets us through.
Yeah, I mean, we tell each other that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
What about that person that came all the way from, you know?
Kate'll be like, Riki, there's someone here that drove from Texas. And I'll be like, go closer. And she's like, from Arizona. And
But we definitely can, and that's the nice thing about, we can travel together, which is also safer too. I mean, like,
Sure.
we, just even last night,
Last
we walked out of the club and then Ricky's like, I forgot something.
I was like, Kate, I
"Me
forgot
too."
something. And we
Turn
turned
back around because there's a guy that
It's a strange
was
guy.
there.
There's a guy said some strange things to us, and we're just kind of like, cool. And then we walk out. Everyone was gone. We walk out, and there was a pole, and he was sort of lurking behind it, and we're just like, turn right back around.
Oh.
And we went to the owner of the club, and we're like, we need a ride. And he's like, your
We
hotel's
need a
across
ride
the
to
street.
the
And we're like,
Applebee's.
we know. Yeah. Well, he drove us to Applebee's, which was also across the street. But he literally had to drive us around and
really
across.
classy.
We're like, yeah. Yeah. We
Jamie,
stayed
what do you
at
got over
Applebee's
there?
till 2 in the
Anything?
morning.
I would like to involve the audience whenever possible.
I do. I have one more tweet 5. for
Alrighty.
you.
Another tweet
do it.
5.
I do.
You don't
from-
say.
This comes from Avi, the TV geek, from Twitter. So I guess it would be at Avi, the TV geek. Simon or Hall?
Hall.
Hall,
Guitar or banjo?
Guitar.
guitar,
Fraggle Rock or Sesame Street?
Sesame Street,
Sesame Street.
Price is Right or Family Feud?
Price is Right.
And Weird Al's parodies or original songs?
Original songs.
original songs.
Nice.
My favorite
One More
Weird Al
Minute.
song is One More Minute.
We actually
so.
we sang that to Weird Al.
Yeah, so that's
It was
why
very
it's- yeah.
weird.
It's always going to be my favorite because it was like one of the first times we met him, and we're like, oh my gosh.
And you had loved that song forever since you were a kid.
And we got to sing him our version of it, and yeah, it's
And
pretty
he's
magical.
such a sweet man. Like
Yeah.
he but it's weird anytime when you're singing to a small group of people or
Always
one or
strange.
two people. Where do you
You don't know where to look.
And
That was the weirdest thing about pitching a TV show is we'd go and there would be maybe 5 to 10 people in a room and we would be singing for them, but you don't know who to look at.
Right.
And they didn't know whether or not to look at you because they're
Right.
executives and they'll be like,
it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's like when you're dating a guy and they're like, I wrote a song for you. You're like, crap.
I think that would be the beginning of the end if someone did that.
Oh
for you.
yeah. Well,
You'd
it
be
usually
no.
is.
Yeah.
My very first sort of stand-up audition, I grew up in Northern California, born in San Francisco, but I was raised in San Jose in the suburb, and of course there were no comedy clubs there at the time. And my first opportunity at the age of 18 to do a nightclub was going on during the breaks of one of the most famous and popular music acts in town of the area. This guy Joe Sciarrino, who's a total sweetheart and a wonderful guy and a great performer, and had his audiences, just dedicated to him. So through his girlfriend, who I was going to high school with the year before, I get this audition with Joe Sciarrino. It was like a huge, big deal. So he says, well, come to the house, and we'll figure this out. So I go to the house, and he says, all right. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, just go ahead. Well, what would you do as my as my opening act? And then I performed stand-up to one person.
Oh, God.
Talk about not knowing where to look.
Oh.
Because if I look right at him, then I'm doing
That's
this
awkward.
in a kind of a dreamy state.
Oh.
Trying to dream me into your eyes.
Oh, no.
And then I do Peter Falk. You don't know what I do. But yeah, performing to the smallest groups and the corporate gigs. Have you done the corporate gigs yet?
Not yet.
Those pay the most and are the worst. Because usually it's a smaller group, private group.
Right.
But even if it's huge, I mean, it's so funny. You know the difference you talked about early on when you realize, oh my goodness, these people are paying to come see us. They want to be there just to see our show.
Yeah.
Not just a comedy show, but our show. So then the corporate gig is no one's there to see you.
Yeah.
None of them.
We played a gig like that a week and a half ago in Malibu.
We did? Oh. Well, the main woman was there to see us.
The one woman, yeah, she bought us through a charity, through Comedy Death Ray, actually. And
We auctioned off a concert in someone's living room, and this woman bought us.
But it was her birthday, and so she, for her birthday, made all of her friends who
Didn't want to.
They didn't want to see us.
Why are we stopping the party to listen?
Exactly.
Right, and it was this party in full swing and music and everyone's drinking
Oh,
and la la.
God, exactly what I'm saying. Hell
Yeah.
gig. Hell gig, the worst.
Yeah, well, she was nice. She wanted to see us, and she
She's
was
an
the
angel.
best audience member, and she was like, yeah. But then everyone else was, I think, just watching us because it was her birthday.
Sure.
But the
You were
the gig went
annoying.
too long. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Now,
think
not
we
you
were.
personally.
No, but they're
the
like,
fact
who
that
are
they
these
had
girls
to
singing
stop
and
their
rapping?
party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had been like a dull party, maybe that would be a nice respite. But
be
it
thank
was,
God
we
you're
walked
here.
in, it was
And it
in
was
full swing.
going
And the
on.
music.
It was one of the
Yeah.
greatest
Yeah.
parties ever. You two just went right in there and interrupted it.
Yeah, it was this gorgeous house right on the beach and all
Yeah.
this alcohol and loud music and and then everyone's like, shh. These girls are gonna do a rap song about douchebags. And we're like, oh,
This is going to be
God.
awesome.
Yeah.
We got through it.
That was
Yeah,
quite
you
a
did.
night.
How long
It
did you
was
have
quite a
to
night.
perform?
45 minutes or an hour?
Yeah,
And then you got to stay, and they wanted you to stay and be at the party.
they did,
They
but
did, and we
didn't.
left immediately.
We had, yeah.
That was our second gig that night. We played at the
Club Nokia.
at LA Live right before that for a malaria charity
Oh,
event.
right.
And
So we bolted from downtown LA to Malibu, and then after that we were just like,
we're
let's
like,
go home.
gotta go home. Yeah.
Yeah.
We basically never go out.
No, I don't really like going out though. I'm so much happier when I'm not out.
Yeah, a lot of people invited us out last night, which was cool, but we're like, oh, we never go out, and they're like, oh, sure. And we're like, no, I don't remember the last time.
I think our songs make us seem like we're a bit more of a party kind of, that we do things that we really don't.
It was, basically we went back and me and you and TJ sat up for hours talking about acting. We just like
It was wild
sat there
and
and we're like,
crazy.
Unless
had
you're
one
hanging out with
Tecate.
Sam, and then it's all about how to...
Hand jobs.
Hand jobs.
jobs.
For the record, my mother is watching.
Oh, hi.
I've just been informed via tweet. She
Okay.
caught all that.
Welcome
and,
to our world.
What's your
I'd like to
mom's
thank
name?
you all so very much. Her name is Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Hey.
You
Hi,
met my
Lynn.
mom, Ricky.
I know.
Yeah. There you go.
Our moms are really proud of us constantly for the material that we churn out.
Yeah, let's
know
talk
they
about
are.
performing in front of your families.
I
Has
remember
that
the
happened?
first time. The first time we did, my family was the first one, right?
Yeah,
Or was-
UCB.
Yeah, UCB in New York, and my parents got there early, and they live in Buffalo, and they drove like 6 or 7 hours, and they were in the front row, right in
Oh,
the middle,
no.
right in front of me. And
Oh,
UCB
no.
is small, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I tried to get them to move. I
Yeah.
was like, I asked one of the waitresses to tell them that those seats were reserved and whatever, and they weren't having it. They're like, no, we're Ricky's parents. And I'm like, oh no, okay. So I tried to get them out of the way, and so I just basically made a joke of it the whole time and told everyone, I'm like, here's my mom, and I'm like, here are the things I'm going to talk about, and I just got it right out of the way. And
Oh, good. And then how
Yeah.
did it go?
it was fine. They
You
didn't
talk about
mention
putting a
anything
weird
specific.
vibe on the audience. Forgive me for interrupting, but I'm just realizing.
Yeah.
You inform the audience of certain things, and it can completely change the dynamic of the performance. So
Yeah.
now that you've made it clear to everyone, these are my parents, or
Right.
this is my mom, and now the audience is checking out their reaction to you,
Yeah.
and not just listening and being entertained by you.
Yeah, but it made it such a great show because they were kind of, I think, picturing through. I'm like, this is the first time my parents are seeing this, so you have to picture being my mom, and then we're like, cunt, shit, fuck, blah blah, and I'm like, and I would just in the middle of every song
Let's
I go,
say hi, Lynn, again.
Yeah,
shall we?
hi Lynn.
Hi, Len.
I would just go. We just kept referring to it. I'd be like, "Sorry, Mom," and then it would just kill every time because I knew, and they would just look at her, and she's like, "Hey." So we made it work for us, but afterwards, my parents were just like, "Good job,"
The way.
and that was it. Like, no, nothing specific. Just like,
Good for you, honey.
good job.
You said the
night.
C word in a song.
Yeah.
I think my parents, at least they're excited that they see all these people that are coming to our shows. Like when they come to the shows, they're like, "Wait, who are these other, people that are?"
Yeah.
It's exciting for them to know that, their daughters are doing something. But I knew it was okay when we were in a backyard barbecue in Pennsylvania, and my mom was sitting right next to me, and she was like, "Oh, Katie, sing 'I Would Never Have Sex with You' for everybody." And in the song, I say, "I'll go down on you, and you would like it." And my mom's just sitting there happily. So I knew after that it was going to be okay. So, at least with my mom.
You both did a little time in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Both of you.
I was born there,
And I moved there when I was 8.
and we went to music camp together in 5th grade.
But we didn't figure that out till later, like 2 years ago.
When you, like 2 years ago?
We were
Yeah.
talking about music camp, and I was like, "You went to music camp?"
I
And
was like, "That's weird. Me too."
what music camp? And then we realized we were there at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
But you weren't necessarily friends? You had met?
No, Kate
I-
wasn't into.
I cried every day
Camp,
and didn't
yeah.
have any friends at camp, and Riki was having the best time.
Yeah.
So,
We immediately made friends. I was totally just one of those kids because I'd moved every year when I was, and sometimes even more than once a year when I was little. So when I went to camp, it was just I knew how to make friends, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Riki. Let's go do this." And
I remember
Kate's
the cool
different.
group. Like I remember Ricky's boyfriend, Dante.
yeah, I immediately had a boyfriend and like
Uh-huh.
six best friends. And
This is a 5th grade.
yeah.
Yeah.
I cried.
And you cry.
I
Kate
really
stopped
cried.
You
eating.
still cry now a little, though, right?
Yeah, but back then a lot.
Of the two of us, I cry more.
Oh yes, this is very true.
Yeah. Of the two, I cry all the time. Kate's still getting used to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm learning how to handle it sometimes.
Yeah. Kate's like, "Oh." there she
Okay,
goes.
you ready?
Yeah.
You done crying? We can go? Okay. Do
Yeah.
you want to stay here a little longer and cry some more? No, okay.
That happened about an hour before we got here. We were talking about something. We were in the bathroom. We got changed to come here in the bathroom at Shutters.
Of course you did.
Yeah, because we were like, we don't know what to do.
Because
So-
you'd come from the airport and didn't know where to go to
we
change.
didn't know where to go, so we
Yeah.
put on makeup and stuff in the bathroom and ran into the wife of someone from Common Rotation, and I was in there like doing my hair. I was like, "Oh, hey," and
It was very
Amber
nice.
Benson? No. What
no,
wife?
it was
oh.
Ken's.
I guess Amber Benson's not a wife.
Technically, no.
Yeah,
Ken's wife.
girlfriend.
But you just happened to run into her in the restroom while you
Yeah,
were
while we
changing
were changing,
and putting on
she's like,
makeup.
"What are you doing?" And we're like, "Oh, just
Turning tricks.
Just left from the airport."
Totally. We had our big
Yeah.
bags with us.
Yeah. And Kate and I started talking about something, and I started crying. We were supposed to leave, and Kate's like, "Oh, what do I do?" And then
Kinda
she goes,
waited
"Do you want to
out.
wait here for a second?" I'm like, "No, it's fine." I put on my sunglasses and we walked out.
But I've tried to handle it as best I can.
Well, obviously you've become great friends through all of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't mean
Yeah.
to assume, but it seems painfully clear.
I think we talk
spend
about this
so
on
much
stage.
time
People
together.
think that we are a lot alike. We're very different
Mm-hmm.
people, but they think that we're like, that we live together and have sleeping bags and
Mm-hmm.
bunk beds. But
Sometimes we'll read our most recent Twitters back and forth so people understand how different we are, and yeah, that always gets a laugh.
Oh,
they're
that's
vastly
very funny.
different. Yeah,
Kate's are always like, "Candy canes taste like peppermint, yum," or something,
they do.
Yeah, no, totally. And mine are very different from that.
Again, proving once again you're the brains of the hour. I'm just going to keep hitting that on the head. It's funny you mentioned Twitter, because our very own Jamie Foxx created a game for the show, and it's called Who Tweeted?
Who tweeted? You got an intro and everything.
Oh, nice.
Celebrities have so much to say.
Who tweeted?
Is the game that we just played.
No good.
Hey, we're excited.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun. So the game is Who Tweeted. I briefly mentioned how we played before, but I will go over it one more time. So it's a series of 8 tweets that were written by either Tyra, Paris, or Bieber.
No, were all 8 tweets written by the one person, or they're
No.
all different? Okay.
Each one was written by one of those 3 people.
Okay.
I'm going to read a tweet, and then you guys are going to buzz in.
Okay.
And I think they should be on their own team.
I was thinking, as you can see,
Yeah, you can see.
that it's 3 contestants, not
it.
2 against 1, because
like
that's
it.
not fair. So we will all ring in saying our own name.
Okay.
So there's no confusion. If we all went, we wouldn't know who said it.
Yeah. So
And do we all guess?
Just the person who rings
Person who
in?
rings in, I will point to whoever has rung
Rung.
in
I'm going to go
first.
rung.
Rung?
Lynn, it's rung, right?
Rung? Come on, Ma. All right. Rung in first, and then you have 3 seconds to say Tyra, Paris, Bieber.
Okay.
You ring in, you get it right, you get yourself 5 points. Ring in, get it wrong, you lose 3.
Okay.
That's right. There's a penalty for
There is a
being
penalty.
incorrect.
Now,
Are we playing for shits and giggles?
we are not, sir.
What?
We are not.
What's the prize?
Andrew
about
Jackson.
this bad boy?
Andrew Jackson on paper.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
That's
now
right.
I'm just a little bit nervous.
Which I believe this is more than you made for your first gig in Seattle.
Yes, it is.
There you go.
I've
Right
lost
there.
money doing gigs because we
Not
the
just
beginning.
any Andrew Jackson, by the way. It's the disco dancing Andrew Jackson. He won't even stand up. He's so happy to dance.
doesn't want to
There
go
you
to this
go.
party.
Okay. We just
Do you know how to play?
Yes.
Here we go. Tweet number 1. Yay! My iPad 2 finally arrived in the mail. So excited to play with my new toy. I love technology.
Bieber.
Sorry, no.
Beep. Or can I say no? we
No,
can't
I'm
say
sorry.
that.
That's just one lost point for.
Oh, you can't other people. Oh,
No.
sorry. Did you know? Did I take it away from you?
Well,
Well, you're playing against each other, so,
yeah, so it's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really want to win.
it's all right. It's all right.
We should tell you that he likes to perform them so that you don't know right away who it is. He doesn't perform in the person's voice, obviously.
right,
That
right.
would not be helpful or fair. And trying to make it more difficult. And also, I will tell you this that I only know from playing so many times. They're rarely obvious as to who tweeted it. I mean, it's almost like purposely chosen to not be necessarily in the person's voice.
Jamie picks the good tweets.
But I felt like I should tell the guest this because I might have an advantage knowing that. If you don't.
I feel like it falls on the guest to have watched the show before.
Whoa.
We've seen the show.
And
They've seen
they've seen the show. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about in general. I think guests
Those
should be
other
penalized.
jackasses that come here.
Yeah, those other jackasses. I'm like, oh, you've seen the show? They go, oh yeah. And then I get to the Twitter game. They go, I don't know what we're
Why
doing.
are you doing this?
What's the Larry King game? See, you watched 5 minutes of the show, and now you want to claim you've seen the show.
Yeah.
Very good.
Fill in the guest names here.
Kathy and Jimmy. No, she's seen the show. I don't know. All right, here we go. Tweet number 2.
Okay.
I'm in a place where I'm hearing my name in Italian accents with big smiles.
Oh, jeez.
Kevin Bieber.
No!
Yes.
If I don't answer, I
You're
might
winning.
win.
You're winning huge. now.
That's like our. Well, not yours. That's my tactic on the movie game. I just say name it. Doug's show,
No, that's
and
my
I just
tactic
keep winning.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. That was Tyra.
Oh, I was gonna. I gotta go with my instincts. I was gonna say
Trust
that.
your gut.
She
Trust your
sounds
gut.
like someone who would say, "Everyone was saying my name. I love."
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Tweet number 3. All righty. It's Sunday, the beginning of a new week. How are you going to work closer towards your goal and dreams starting Monday?
Kevin Bieber.
No!
Tyra.
That was Tyra.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm losing by default.
I'm gonna
You're
keep
kicking
silent.
ass. You're
I'm
just
gonna
crushing
do
it.
I think my tactic might work. But I'm
By doing nothing, she's winning. Kenny, on the other hand, is fired.
Tweet number 4. Solid game of hide and go seek at the hotel. We have the entire floor to our crew.
beep,
Had to
beep,
do
beep,
it.
beep, Bieber.
You are winning this game.
It had to eventually be Bieber.
But he used the word solid, which I feel the other two wouldn't use that as much.
Kate was a big
You'd
fan
be
of the Bieber
surprised.
movie.
You'd be surprised.
Did you see that movie? It was so
No.
Oh, it was great.
I really wanted to see it.
Yeah, it
Everyone
was
laughed
fun.
at
We
me and
went-
said I was an idiot.
We went to go see it ironically, and it was just
That's
a,
what I
a
was
real
thinking.
joy.
Yeah, because I thought they would actually document his life in an interesting way because it is a bizarre sort of rise to. Go ahead, Sam.
We went with
No,
Reggie
I-
Watts and Natasha Leggero,
And Nick
which
Thune,
I would, and Nick Thune, which I would
So we're like,
recommend.
this is gonna be
Oh,
good.
well, all right. If we can get all of them together, I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Tweet number 5.
Question, tweet number 5.
It hurts on the pinky side of my hand.
Paris? No? Oh.
It's okay, you're tied with me and she's
Okay,
crushing
okay.
us both.
I'm so sorry. It was Tyra.
Oh.
Pinky
Tyra.
side, the pinky side of your hand.
Yeah, I don't know what it hurts on the pinky side of my hand. Ellipsis, by the way.
Yes.
For that. I don't know what that's all about.
That feels so Paris.
Tweet number 6. 1111. Make a wish.
Kevin Paris.
That is correct.
Oh, he's crawled out of the
1111.
dungeon.
Never forget. Never forget. Now you're still in the minus, my friend. But you're getting closer. Tweet number 7. What did everyone think of the royal wedding? Kate looked stunning in her beautiful gown. What an incredible wedding!
Oh, shoot.
Tyra? No? Paris? Oh. It would have been
so
amazing if it was Bieber.
Yeah, I don't think he watched. Well, maybe he watched the wedding.
He looks stunning.
Oh
my God.
And the last one is
Wow.
worth 15 points.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, this is
Sweet. I can still lose to Kate if I get this
No,
right.
it's got to be a 16 point.
20 points. It's a 20-point final question.
20 point.
There has to be
Final tweet.
anyone's game in the last
Anyone's
question.
game.
Yeah.
Eighth and final tweet. Here we go. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Bieber.
We got ourselves a winner.
2 for 2?
2 for 2.
Wow!
Twice gets them both right.
I feel like I'm kind of just like I know my Justin Bieber.
Also-
you know?
Yeah, you
Oh,
do.
20
You know, I would have given
you.
that question away if I pointed out that neighborhood was spelled with a U.
Whoa, a Canadian spelling?
Canadian U. Canadian neighborhood.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah.
That incredibly
I'll buy you
talented
some Starbucks on the way back.
Canuck.
Sweet. Look at that.
Sammy, thank you so much.
My pleasure. That's how you
Thank
play.
you, Sam.
Good job.
Who tweeted?
That's
All
Lynn's
right.
boy.
Hi, Lynn.
Celebrities have so much to say.
Who tweeted?
Is the game that we just played.
You know, it's funny that you asked about Bowflex. Because I just happen to have a pamphlet right here. And in fact, I wish there was some sort of information I could tell you further about how to get yourself this new machine of theirs called a tread climber.
What is that?
Do either of you work out? You don't seem like you need to.
I swim every other month.
Nice.
I go for
That's
walks.
quite a commitment.
Yeah, I go for walks occasionally.
Uh-huh. And how do you feel about the walks?
Pretty good.
Imagine a machine that would give you the experience of an elliptical and a treadmill and a Stairmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine all three together?
I don't. That just.
That's
almost,
Bowflex.
Yeah. That sounds really good, actually.
Yeah, it's
I
more
don't
than
know
really
if
good.
It's possible.
I know, it is possible. It's called a tread climber. And if you call 1-800-436-6063. Nope. What? What's happening? Oh, okay. I thought they were all saying, stop, you idiot. You can get yourself more information, the info kit from Tread Climber. If you want to go online, go ahead and type in walkwithkevin.com. What the hell? Sounds like some sort of Native American movie. Walkwithkevin.com.
Sounds like a charity.
Yeah, it is a charity. It's neither. It's how to get your info kit from Bowflex on the Tread Climber. Another proud sponsor of Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. That number again, 1-800-436-6063.
What's weird is you bring the pamphlet and the phone number to dinners now.
Well, why is that weird? People are eating. You want them to know there's a way to get rid of what's happening.
You know what? I guess you have a point.
Yeah.
I guess you have a point.
I mean, we know how. Well, never mind. So, all right. So we talked about the parents and their experience coming, your parents coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what is the deal on your side?
My dad was at, my mom and dad came to a show in New York, and we have a song, the Weed Card song, and I just happened to mention that my dad gave me a roach clip when I was 10, and I pointed that out, and I pointed my dad out, and he stood up and went, ah! So we were all good.
Wow. That's pretty
But
fantastic.
I've never used it, actually, but
Of course not.
I remember he gave it to me, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can make a little puppet. I thought that's what you're supposed to do with it. And he goes, that's not for making puppets.
Yeah, no.
No, like 2 years ago, we had these hats. We got these sort of douchebag hats for our wrap, and there was a place to like put cigarettes and joints. And Kate puts it on and goes, "Oh, I have a place where I can put my pencils and pens," and she puts those in there.
I thought it was for your pencils.
Proud. You're a proud geek / nerd. Proud.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe not intentionally.
A lot of people carry pencils in there.
There's never been a better time to be
That's true.
of the geek.
This is a true
Ever.
thing. Yeah.
The geek are inheriting the earth right now. It's astonishing.
You're more of like a musical theater Sesame Street nerd than a gamer nerd, though.
Oh yeah, I
I'd
don't
say.
know much about video games.
Favorite Sesame Street character? Gotta pick one.
Grover.
Grover. That's Jamie's favorite.
Your favorite? Somebody just asked in the chat room because whenever you were talking about Sesame Street versus Fraggle Rock, they asked me what my favorite character was, and I said Grover, Super Grover.
You with your Sesame Street face.
Nice.
Or you can do this, like the excited Muppet.
They don't have teeth.
They don't have teeth, so they don't.
Somebody on stage the other night, what did they say? They said
They
I
said-
looked like I was a Muppet.
Yeah, they go, I can't figure out which Muppet you look like. And it was like the most hilarious
Thanks.
backhanded compliment.
Cutest Muppet?
Yeah.
The cutest Muppet. She's the cutest Muppet.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Who was Animal's girlfriend? What was her name?
Oh, the
Janice.
Janice,
oh,
the
one
blonde.
that's like tootly, like,
Yeah.
That would be me. If I was a Muppet, I'd probably
Yeah,
be that
you would
one.
be. Maybe you'd be Janice.
Yeah.
Halloween.
I read something that you were a puppet builder.
I was really into making puppets, but I think it was just me being too shy to say I actually wanted to be an actress. So I loved doing puppet shows and being able to perform behind the thing with a.
And you did shows.
Yeah, I actually, when I moved out to LA, I made I hollowed out a giant trunk and I made this big stage that could fit in my car, and I would fit inside it, and I made all the puppets and everything. And it was a Christmas show I took on the road to all the elementary schools.
Holy crap.
How did you set that up?
I would just call or.
Hey. I'll ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm totally kidding.
I would call and I'd say.
It's a great question. How did you set that up?
I'd call and say, hi, I'm from, I was going to Loyola Marymount University, so I think there's a bit of like safety in a stranger calling up a school and saying, I'm a student at Loyola Marymount University. I like to do a puppet show for your students. And
They were
that's
so
what I
happy.
did. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was really fun. And then I did a kind of dirtier version for the college kids, and that was one of the best nights ever.
And then Avenue Q ripped you off.
No, I was a
No.
fan of Avenue Q before. In fact, we
actually-
just wrote a song with Jeff Marks. who
Last
wrote-
week, he came to my house and we all wrote a song together. It's
Really?
really sad.
It's a sad song.
Oddly
But
enough, the three of
hilarious?
us, no.
No,
the three of
just
us got
sad.
together
But
and
pretty.
we
You
just were
committed
like,
to the sad.
Yeah.
Nice.
It just kept going that way, and we're like, oh, it's called My Apartment's Very Clean Without You.
Oh my.
Like when someone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really
It's
sad.
unintentionally
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah,
It's a very
very
funny
sweet.
title.
Actually,
Yeah.
there's some funny stuff in there.
yeah, but it's mostly pretty sad.
Yeah.
Like when
Aw.
someone leaves and then you just like, oh,
Yeah, shit's not around here.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
It'll become funny in time.
Yes.
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 Because tragedy plus time equals funny.
Does it?
Yes, I promise you.
Okay, good.
I do, I promise you. In fact, I was bombing on stage last night. Now I'm laughing about
It's
it.
so funny that you.
Yeah. Last night I wanted to kill them. I mean individually. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Just go down the... and they were just so pleasant the way they were looking up. They were all smiling. It was like, I don't know, you're the guy from movies. You know, they just couldn't listen to what I was saying. And if you asked them afterwards, they probably said, that was the greatest show I've ever been to. Well, how about telling me? Let me know.
Yeah.
Awful feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Okay, now let's talk about Life is Short. Riki, you wrote and co-directed.
Yes.
And it co-stars our very own Lynn's son, Sam
Please
Levine.
refer to me as that from now on.
Yeah, that was his credit in the movie.
Uh-huh.
Lynn's son.
Yeah.
How did this come to be? And then we're going to show a little clip in if you don't mind.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Sam and I did a movie together called Pulse.
Woo! I'll
in,
say.
in Romania. I was there for 2 days or something, but we got along, and I really wanted to write. I really
I'm
wanted
sorry,
to
it
make
sounded like you
something.
said you got along.
We did get along. Yeah.
Shockingly.
We had a blast. He wore my mom's raincoat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not prison lingo.
Yeah.
I literally wore her mother's raincoat.
Sam didn't have one. I had two.
You had 2 raincoats?
Yeah.
Well, she had her mom's, and then she had her
And I
own.
had mine.
Yeah. The question, you're right, is why the second?
I don't know. What if I wanted to wear a different one? Yeah.
But you said you were there for 2 days.
Yeah. And I knew it was going to be raining, so I had 2 different coats.
Her overpacking was my benefit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I always overpack. You know that.
No, that I know.
How many shirts did I bring to Salt Lake?
Too many?
Yeah.
Are you forcing her to sit
15.
down and watch Up in the Air, the ultimate How to Pack movie?
Oh, man.
I think about traveling is never fast.
I
Though.
wish-
Carry on or check?
Oh, carry on.
Oh, well then you're okay.
Yeah.
But we're still clunky. I mean, like,
Oh my
a
God.
guitar and a ukulele.
We
and
push the boundaries of what you can bring on a plane.
A lot of smiling.
Yeah, and
Please,
she's
sir.
the reason we can do it. because yeah, she does this like,
I just needed to bring my ukulele on because it's fragile.
and they go, oh okay, and then we get on. Yeah, but we bring so much stuff on planes. It's
You could have slipped past the SS, by the way, with
yeah.
that request.
I was like, hey, can you explain it to them?
Even today, the woman was like, "You really need to check your bag," and then she was like, "Or here's the tag if they make you, but just go on." And I was like, "Okay." It's very nice of her.
Yeah, we had probably 6 bags between
Way
the
too
two
many,
of us on
yeah.
the plane today.
You carried 6 bags.
Yeah. But we put bags and bags and bags until
Sure.
it just looks like a giant carry-on that's, I don't know how the heck we got away with it.
Yeah, I had 3 bags.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had 3.
I had 3.
So we
Okay.
had 6. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what I was telling you.
Pulse,
We
2
were
raincoats.
talking about.
Pulse. Oh yeah. Okay, so we became
got
friends,
along,
and I
and-
wanted to make something, and I wrote a short about how about a short guy dating a tall girl, and I asked him
Because
to be
you
in
had
it.
dated a short guy at some point?
No.
But for the record, not Sam Levine, because there's been no sexual
There has
history
been
between
Except
these
for that
three.
one night
Except-
where we were on the couch
The
and
hand jobs. Yeah. No, I at that
You
point I
know-
had never dated anyone shorter than me. I have since then. I've since broken that boundary and gone, oh, that's not so bad. That's totally fine, actually. But at that point, I hadn't. And so I wrote a short about it, and Sam was in it, and he was amazing.
Oh, you stop it. You
It
were
was.
great.
It was such a good experience. And then that's what made me want to keep making stuff, because I couldn't believe how many people said yes.
Right. And
Like-
this was a short film, actually.
Yeah.
And so it was a matter of raising funds, or you just got everyone to work for nothing? And
I don't know what I was thinking. I had no money, and I just was like, oh, well, I'll just open 5 credit cards. So I did that, and I just paid for it on credit cards, and then hoped that I would make money and pay it off, and I did. So
How did you make money?
I booked a pilot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant make money from the actual short film.
No.
Oh, no, it's ridiculous.
No. I was just like, I'll make some money sometime. And I'd never booked a pilot. I had no reason to think I would ever make money acting. And I was like, I'll get an acting job. It'll be great.
By putting yourself out there, by taking those chances, and by putting yourself in a situation of
Needing the money, yeah.
needing the money. Interesting how it showed up.
Yeah. Almost the exact amount I was in debt. Within like $300 of the amount I was in debt was the check I got for the pilot.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was my first pilot. It was really crazy.
I would ask you to
job.
set up the clip, because that's awful fun to do as people on a talk show. But you don't know what the clip is?
I don't know what the clip is.
No.
I think I know what the clip is. And here's-
Sammy, can
here's
you
the
set
good
up the
news.
clip for us?
We don't have to. It's the first, 35 seconds of the short film.
Oh, there you go.
It sets itself up.
Then why don't one of you two, or say it together?
39 seconds.
Ask the director to say roll it, and then you'll have the sense of showing a clip on a talk show.
Oh, well, roll
roll
it.
it.
Jean, I think we should break up.
But why?
Isn't it obvious?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye, Lily.
Bye.
That's
Wow. Wow.
I haven't seen that in so long.
So you're on what? High heels and a nice Kevin. It touched you?
Yeah.
You're on
all
high
right.
heels and an apple box, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
I was just barefoot.
Yeah, well,
That's
I
how
remember
we
we
did
had to do
that?
it so we came up right to my boobs.
Right.
And I still love boob humor. The last short I did
Never fails.
was all boob, yeah.
I
Nolan
have
Thomas.
one question, and it's not necessarily an artistic one,
Yes.
because I just loved every square inch of what I just saw. It's really asking, Sam, did your sideburns have separate representation?
They did. They had separate representation until 2008, at which point the representation dropped them. And they've subsequently been dropped from my face.
You had to let them go.
It was time.
Yeah.
That's a thing a man does in his early to mid-20s. And then when he gets to his late 20s, he goes, what the fuck was I thinking? And
Sure.
so I called it a day.
And so you love the experience of directing this.
I loved it. I loved writing and making stuff, and it was weird how many people were like, "Oh, I'll help. I'll
Right.
be this. I'll do that. I'll be in it." And it was, yeah. And I was like, "Whoa, people want to make stuff." And then it sort of opened things up. And then the next short I made was the musical that we made together, and that turned into Garfunkel and Oates. So
The musical was first,
yeah,
and it was just, you shot how much?
Well, no, I wrote just a regular short
Right.
for Kate and I to do together because we become friends. She actually drew the poster for Life is Short.
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
kind of just met you right
We
around
just
when you were
met.
finishing up.
And I was like,
Life
oh,
is
I'm going to
Short.
make something for us. And then I realized we both wrote music, and so we wrote music for the short, and then...
We wrote 2.5 songs in like 2 hours. One of them being the song "Fuck You," which was like so big for us, you know, in the beginning. So it just happened so quick.
And then
Yeah.
it just went from there, so...
It's happened instantly. That's sort of the crazy part of it.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
But you know, when magic occurs, you know, you gotta go with it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, I knew pretty instantly. It took her longer,
it took
but...
me at least 8 months, probably.
Yeah.
Ricky was like getting, you know, things with Garfunkel and Oates written on them, and you know, I just like
I was
okay.
literally like, you're going to catch on. You're
Took
going
me
to
a
realize
while.
what's going
Well,
on
that
here.
is the curiosity when it does happen this fast for me in terms of there's so few cases, and I hate to keep hammering this home, but you know, it isn't just luck at all. But when it happens this fast, are you still sort of catching up on what it actually means? Because first, it's kind of fun and
Yeah.
cool. And then you get in front of an audience and it becomes really fun when they know when to clap or double clap. And then a big company comes in and says, we want you to develop a show for our network.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it becomes a little industry of Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah.
So you're not yet feeling any sort of professional pressure? It's still sort of fun to create and be silly and... Are you feeling any of the...
I think there's
I think we
pressure.
are.
Yeah.
I think
It's not-
2011 has sort of been the first year of professional pressure. I don't think we felt it really till maybe January of this year until we sold the show.
Right.
And then we're like, oh, we have deadlines, and we're also sick of all of our material and want to start over and make everything new. And we're like, what direction do we go in? And yeah, we feel really different as people than we did 3 years ago. And
That's the thing. The material feels old to us. In
we
a way,
don't
you know?
relate to it as much anymore. A lot of things have changed for both of us, and so
Basically, we're really good at giving hand jobs now. Just kidding.
yeah, no.
Why'd you look at me when you said just kidding? Jesus Christ, Kate.
No, that's
It's all your fault,
that
man.
song
That's
is
the only reason.
Clearly it is. You've learned nothing.
That song is still truthful, but there, you know, I think we've come a long way in 3
Yeah,
years.
but
so-
it's weird though because very early on, I had this feeling. I was like, oh, this is going to be the thing.
But I also
This is going to change both of our lives. And I had no evidence for this fact
Right.
yet. The Scrubs thing hasn't happened. Like, nothing had happened yet.
I didn't know any.
And yeah, and Kate was like, I don't really know. She was like, yeah, maybe, whatever. And I was like, I'm hiring this hugely professional guy to make us a website. We're getting a T-shirt. We're getting a bank account. We're doing this, or whatever.
And I was like,
and Kate goes, okay. And I'm like, don't worry, you'll catch up. And she was like, okay.
But
And
I
then-
also have since learned that Riki is the most intuitive person I've ever met, ever.
In what
So-
way and what examples can you give us?
Oh gosh, I don't know if she'll just know. Like this is the thing we need to do, or this is going to happen, or if we call this person, this is good to do this or that, or stay away from that. You know, just very intuitive. I wish I could give you specific examples.
Yeah, I know. I can't even
None
think
are
of
even
anything.
just entering my head.
And what is
but-
Kate bringing to the party?
Unclear.
other than the
Thanks.
hell of a ukulele?
Yeah. No, Kate's hysterical, and she's an amazing writer. She's an amazing melody writer, and she's a great performer.
The thing that I feel like you can't really plan when you collaborate with someone. You never know how it's going to go, especially the first time you meet up. But when we met to write those songs, because we'd known each other just, you know, game nights or hanging out, going out for lunch or something. But when we met to write those songs, we both were
We had
on
chemistry.
this crazy high. Like
We
were
couldn't
like,
play
what
for them
just
for someone
happened?
soon enough.
No,
We called people that we knew until someone answered.
Sam?
Well, no. The first person we called was my friend Wendy. She was the first person that answered. We drove to her house.
She's like
and
in
was
her pajamas. She
and we were
opens
like,
her-
"What do you think of this?
We
think
bust
we're onto something."
into her house
and we
and
come
play
with
for
this.
her.
She didn't
We-
know I played guitar. And we're like, "Hey, okay."
And it was one of those things where there's one person, and she must have
And
felt
she was like,
completely
"I don't know
awkward.
what to do." And then we're like, "We have to tape these." And we went to my couch and we recorded them.
This is actually.
And then I stuck them on YouTube without telling her.
And so I didn't know that these couch videos of us singing our songs were on YouTube until, I don't know, maybe a week later or something.
Yeah.
Where he's like, by the way, those videos we made, I put them on YouTube. And I was like,
Because
what?
I wanted to show them to our friends. I didn't realize that people would
And
find
then
them.
it was those videos that got us,
Scrubs and
yeah.
yeah. So
This one's intuitive.
yeah. No, do you remember that day?
When you told me that they were on YouTube?
No, that I told you this was going to be something.
No.
Do you remember?
You still seem a little upset about that.
Yeah, a little bit. Because if I had known, I might have done it a little differently. I don't
Shows
know.
in a different blouse.
I do. I know that's not my best quality, but I'm always like.
For the record, I would have suggested a different blouse.
I
I think
know,
that's what I'm
looking
trying to
back,
say.
yeah.
I'm totally kidding. I have no idea what you wore.
No, I don't know either.
But yeah, that's not my best quality, but I'm always like, no, this train's left the station. You'll figure it out.
But
And
what
we're,
was
like,
the day?
going.
I don't remember the day.
That time I left my therapist's office and I was walking on the street and I called you and I was like, this is it. This is the thing. You don't remember that?
No, but I probably
3
still
months
wasn't on board.
Yeah.
It was probably still me going, okay.
No, the first year we were in Montreal. That's when things changed when we were in Montreal. Remember we sat at that kitchen table?
No.
You don't remember this?
No, I don't
She doesn't remember a lot of things. Haven't you figured it out?
I don't remember this either. In Montreal, no. I'm sorry.
What happened? Tell us all.
I
You
was,
sat at a couch. You
Yeah,
sat at a table.
we were sitting there and I was like, well, I did this and I made us this and I got us this and
Oh!
Kate was like, why are you doing all this?
I do remember
And I
that.
was
Why
like,
are you trying to get us work?
I was like, you just haven't figured it out yet. And she's like, what? I'm like, I'm like the fuse that's like lighting your dynamite. You just don't know it yet.
Lighting my dynamite.
Yeah,
Lighting my
I'm just like the
I think you have a new song title.
yeah, light your dynamite. Yeah,
That seems more of like a Katy Perry song to me.
yeah,
Well, then
Yeah.
do your Katy Perry parody.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Light my dynamite.
No, but
Yeah.
don't you think that was like the turning point?
I don't know. Sorry. Maybe. I don't know.
You don't think Montreal?
Montreal. Oh, I thought you meant that conversation at the table. Because I don't remember it. But Montreal was definitely a turning point for us.
Was that the first giant audience you performed in front of in Montreal?
Yeah, you know, that was
think
probably,
so.
we were doing a lot of shows at once. I was there to do my solo show, and then I said, Riki, you know, come on up, let's do shows. And once Riki was there and they knew that, like, Garfunkel and Oates was in town,
Then
we
they
got
just
to
put
play.
us on stuff.
We
weren't
were
even
doing 3 shows
officially
a
in the
night.
festival.
It was
were doing-
awesome.
Yeah, we had our own like van, and we would go from one show to the other. And yeah, it was definitely like a huge turning point. And the one we played in front of maybe 500 people at that one show.
Yeah,
that
probably.
was our biggest audience.
I noticed a lot of people, in putting together the dossier, of course, a lot of questions about how you came up with the name for Garfunkel and Oates. It seems fairly obvious, but was there much of a struggle between who would be Garfunkel and who would be Oates?
No.
There was no struggle.
All right, good.
Yeah.
There was a struggle to land on that name.
Oh yeah, we changed the name so many times, and then basically it's that same thing where
I got the joke.
Kate's said no, and I forced it upon us, pretty much.
But so many amazing things have happened because of that.
Yeah.
Again, because Ricky's intuitive.
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, that has to be your name. We were recording something, and I was at the studio, and you were at
I was at a dinner
and
meeting, like this really kind of important dinner meeting, and my phone kept ringing. And
I was with the
like,
producers, and they're like, you have to name it that. I'm like, yeah, don't we? And so we just kept calling her until she answered. And she's
I remember
like,
going out
hello?
to the parking lot of this Chinese restaurant, and you're going to be Garfunkel and Oates. Okay.
And she goes,
I get it.
fine, whatever. That was
But
our name.
our first big gig at a comedy club, like an actual comedy club, we played the Laugh Factory because Tom Arnold thought that we were actually Garfunkel and Oates, the real Garfunkel and
Did
Oates.
he?
Yep.
And he later, after the show, said, you know, I didn't know you were 2 girls. I thought you were just those old hippies wanting to get together and play some music at the Laugh Factory. But I'm glad.
He thought Art Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Yes. And John Oates were a comedy
Oh
duo.
my.
But that night was amazing because we did a really fun show with amazing people and met so many people. That night opened many doors. So
We went on between Stephen Wright and Ron White.
Jesus,
The first time we ever played
a comedy
a
club.
comedy
and then
club. Yeah.
that night, our booking agent walked.
That was the night. That was the
Yeah.
night that I talked to TJ Miller and was like, "What's a booking agent?" And then we went to the thing and
So-
we met TJ Markwalter, our booking agent. Yeah.
So a lot of really cool things have happened, and also John Oates actually contacting us, and we opened for John, and we've been you know.
Seriously,
Yeah.
So
I would love to know more about that.
oh,
He's amazing. He's
He
the coolest
MySpaced
guy
us.
ever. Yeah. This was back when MySpace. Yeah, we started during the
Remember
MySpace time.
MySpace?
oh
Oh,
yeah.
it was so cute.
I remember having conversations with people like, "This thing's never gonna go away. Like this is it."
They're having those conversations now on Facebook.
Yeah.
yeah. And Twitter. There'll be something else.
Yep.
No, but yeah, he MySpaced us and said, "So I heard you guys are using my name, and you can do that as long as I get free beer at your shows." We're like, awesome.
Cool.
And he's like, "Let's jam next time I'm in LA."
And
We're
now
like,
it's a matter of time before
yes.
Art Garfunkel stops you.
I know, that'd be amazing.
Oh, stops us?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, it's such a great response from John Oates.
Oh my gosh, I think that would be the most amazing thing ever. Kate's like, "What if we get sued by Art Garfunkel?" I'm like, "How cool would that be?" Like, we don't even want
You
like,
couldn't pay for that kind of press, I can assure you.
Totally,
of that.
and, like-
the crowd would so be on your side.
yeah, and I'm sure he's got tons of money, and what's he gonna get from us? Like, or
I think nowadays he's just auditioning for Larry Fine for the Three Stooges movie without knowing that it's been cast.
Most likely.
Yeah.
And I've got the solution for you, by the way. If Art Garfunkel ever does sue you guys, you call the band not Garfunkel and Oates. What court in the world will not go, clearly they're saying it's not Garfunkel and Oates?
And Sam has talked many a judge in many a court out of a ruling based on his tenacity.
Damn straight.
You know that because he's told you the story firsthand.
yes, about the camera. Yeah,
I've got
that's
'em all.
amazing.
Got them all.
That's incredible. You're like when you said the burden of proof is not on me. It's you have to prove.
That's
that
right.
I did
The
it.
burden of proof
I don't
falls
have
to the
prove-
state.
Yeah. They're like, well, who was it? Sam's like, it's not me in the picture. Who was it? And Sam said, you have to prove that. I don't have to prove I didn't do it.
All right, so I proved I didn't do it. I don't have to prove who it is.
Yeah.
Fucking red light cameras, man. It's unconstitutional.
It is.
I got out of one of those one time. It was amazing.
By crying?
No, I just said I don't remember that day. And then the judge, who everybody before got like a huge fine, he was like, it looks like it would have been sunny that day. It looks like it was pretty sunny. I was like, it was sunny. And he goes, okay, you're off the hook. The whole room. What? Like, I ran out of that Culver City courthouse as fast as I could and was like, thank God. I was broke. I didn't have a penny to pay for that ticket. Thank I didn't have to.
I don't really remember the day. It looks like it was sunny. Yes, it was sunny.
It was.
All that sounds like to me is you just proved you do remember the day.
That is a good point.
I'm starting to think you get out of a lot of things just by going,
My brother gets so mad at me.
But see, I use it to my advantage because I don't get out of anything, but she gets us out of stuff. Like whenever we have to make a weird phone call, I'm like, Kate, we have to turn down this thing. She knows it's her. She knows that I don't want to do it.
What would be a weird phone call?
Oh, like if we have to choose between two things and we have to say no to one of them, and it's like our friend,
Not something your agent can call and
No,
say
yeah.
no for you.
So
Although there's nothing better than having your agent call your friend.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they can't come to your party.
Yeah.
They're never saying anything and stuff.
Really busy.
Yeah. She's getting out of a ticket.
Yeah. Putting 6 bags on a plane.
Looks like it was really sunny.
I had a guy yell at me for having too many bags on the plane on the way to Australia, but he hadn't really looked around and realized that there was no one on the plane, and yeah, he threw this.
Ricky kind of just pointed up to the many, many empty
Yeah,
bins.
I put a bunch of stuff, and he goes, "Jesus Christ, you're really gonna put all that? You're gonna take all that space?" And then I went, and there was no one on the plane, and he was like, "Whatever," and he just walked away.
Odd attitude for a steward to have.
Yeah.
yeah. Was he Australian?
Yes.
That's very unusual. I'm
Yeah.
told they're laid-back people.
And I must say also, your Australian accent is horrible.
Yeah. I keep doing Australian accent to save my life.
Because it completely sounded like an American.
Yeah, there's.
In your
what do they-
reenactment.
It's very, it's a,
What do they say? Yeah.
how you going?
How you going? I can't do it. Yeah.
Actually, you should continue to do it because it's awfully funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be accurate, it has to be funny.
Yeah, I can't do that.
How you going?
What else do they say?
Good on you.
Good on you.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it at all.
Do they make that face when they say it?
Yeah.
No, I love Australia.
Yeah.
I'd say it is a difficult accent. Can you do it? No.
I can unless I really work on it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't just pop it out.
It's difficult.
I notice I swallow the letters back at the back of their throat. It seemed like there's a... And the good day thing has been done to death, but I find for my own ear, the more I say good eye, it starts to sound somewhat Australian, but it's a very difficult one, I agree.
Yeah,
I can do like 16 different British accents, but the Australian one is very specific. Like a Scottish one, there are people who can do it flawless and it's incredible, and I can't. It's frustrating.
My friend Ryder Strong did The Graduate, the play version, down in Australia.
Sure.
So when he came back, I just said, Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me. All day and night to him.
And he was like, say it again.
Say it. Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah.
I haven't said it enough. Do it again.
Can you believe we've been at this 2 hours?
No.
What?
The first 14 to 20 minutes, granted, was us talking, and you sitting there nicely. But yes, we've hit the 2 hour mark, and so we're coming up on the opportunity to crush the Larry King game.
As you know, we're really good at accents and impressions. So
Yes.
This should be good.
Well, fortunately for you, in order to do the Larry King game, you must do a bad Larry King impression, and he should not sound Australian.
Not a problem.
Yeah. You mentioned that you may be doing a form of an improv sort of game where one person is talking and the other person is sort of trying to say the same thing at the same
We're
time.
gonna
Is there a
try it.
name
We're
for
gonna-
that?
It's called ripping off SNL. It's called the sketch that Fred Armisen and Kristen would do when they try to sing at the same time, except we're going to try to say it at the same time.
Well, let's give it a try.
Okay, so what are you going to say? Ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Larry King, and my mom says that Canadians are weird. Buffalo, you're on the air. That's really good. That was so good.
That was sweet.
Larry King's mom she never liked Canadians.
Let's be clear.
They're all weird, she would say. They're weird, Larry. And then,
And then,
And then what?
that's it.
Oh, I was going to follow you.
Oh, I don't know.
you already did the bit. You did
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
It's over, so let it go. Sorry.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Thank
And
you.
it'll be up on YouTube. You should know.
Oh, great.
Totally upset.
TJ Miller posted a video of us on YouTube last night, sitting in
Oh
the
gosh,
lobby.
is that really
of
on
the-
YouTube?
Oh yeah, we're sitting in a little luggage cart, a carpeted luggage
3
cart.
in the morning.
Yeah, with playing Last Christmas on Kate's guitar
And singing.
and singing at the top of our lungs. Yeah, it's not
Can we
embarrassing.
go and find it now?
Yeah, it's on there. I saw it this morning.
Oh,
Just
God.
look up Kate and her guitar.
Yeah,
Garfunkel and Oates.
Last Christmas or
Something
That'll
like
do
that.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thrilled to death for your instant, or so it seems, success.
Thank you.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to higher and higher heights, as it were, of this particular trajectory. It's really going to be exciting to follow what happens in the next several years and look back on this moment in time as a very early stage of a very, very long career.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just keep getting along. That's all you do. At this point, that's all you have to do. You've got all the talent. You just need to figure out a way to not get on each other's nerves.
We're pretty good